does PRX still have something left in the bag here as an extra little surprise? And the big reason why PRX would be the underdogs is because they're still missing something.
Yeah.
Any match that they can win here buys more time. If they can get, in fact, 2 match wins, get to the lower bracket, they have a couple days off. It's tough. It looks very difficult, especially coming off the back of them getting whooped by Fnatic. But I'm hoping that this is a real game, a clash of play styles.
So this starts off here for PRX. Kang going to be taking that first contact and the first kill. Make it 2. Classic in hand. Quick little upgrade.
And that's Jing and Forsaken, destroyed. The stun off Smoggy's so good.
Instant reaction out towards San. The fault line pushing them all the way through here. Just going to try to get themselves into the side as well, but the crossfire is too damn good. Divide. Last one standing, run and gun. Kang. That is a fiery beginning. 4 kills for the pistol round win.
Des was putting a highlight on CGRS playing Breach on this map, and it is a really important role to try and highlight because he's coming in here replacing something in this event at the moment, and also just Breach on Fracture. So incredibly impactful. Watching Smoggy play, they have so many different setups. This EDG team is so in sync in terms of how they want to work off the fault lines. And there's a pistol round that they win partially off the back of that.
Yeah, the desk was touching on it about, you know, the kind of one-trick style of EDG where it was all aim, no brain. It's not really the case anymore. I mean, EDG have had that evolution as a team. Large part of it comes down to the supported detail. Smoggy always being able to set them up. They can slow down the pace as well whenever they need to. General game plan for this round, though. PRX got their eyes set on the ult orbs. Try and get some of those going early on.
And against Loud, EDG were going for these pushes in the mid-round a ton. PRX's comp still has the Killjoy. So Devi, at some points in these rounds, is going to be able to give them information about pushes happening. But EDG was setting up for so many flank retakes.
Flash right into the face of Howdong. Overwhelming him with sheer numbers. Nobody playing all the way back into spawn, but head ripped off from Devi. They flipped the map ever so slightly, spraying them down with the Spectre in hand. Chichu seeking to contain, seeking to, as well, stop it from getting that much more dangerous. So 2 players surviving, EDG. Maintaining their lead. Blade Storm built up for Kang as well. Potential for him to really do some damage.
And PRX have so many interesting ideas on this map. You've already seen them just there. Explode through a smoke, get pressure on the generator player. They also have another play where the Breach goes into tunnel, they stun, they double blast pack deep into Canteen. They play this map unusually. Of course they do, it's PRX. But EDG are going to have to really make sure that they control that level of aggression on both sides.
Here we go. Fight to be taken towards a horse. Fault line for a fault line. Util still. Smoggy playing close behind the box. It's a dangerous spot to play, and he's just caught the back of someone's head. No one's watching it. All the way through it is Smoggy just taking names away from them. Kang with the follow-up. 4 players fall into horse. It's left up to Devi with the 4-1 split. Not really a possibility. Kang going for that jump spot. Expending the blades. Wants the kill though. Shotgun in his hand. This is pure disrespect. Desperate for the kill. Pounces on it.
Feeling confident.
Man.
Yeah, the confidence is just radiating from EDG. Kang's almost always going to be at the top of the scoreboard, and currently he still is, 8-0 right now after 3 rounds. But getting the other players online is, to me, the biggest win condition for EDG. Kang's like that reliable top fragger you always know he's going to pop off, but it's that guy right there, Smoggy, that, to me, when he has big games, or as we saw against Loud, when somebody else like Nobody or Shishu in the clutch can just sometimes swing around on its head, that's when EDG look capable of taking down anyone in the tournament.
Oh, right, here's a fight immediately. It's tower pressure. That was the name of the game for PRX here. Howdong was really caught out of position, but the rifle still stunned her. Chichu, enough bullets hitting their mark. Tower is compromised. As he seek to try and re-clear this one. Did not expect Forsaken to already be up onto that angle. So rifles exchange of the hands here.
But like I said, EDG love to push on the defensive side,
oh,
and they're
wow.
completely caught Forsaken. There is also another push on the south side of the map. Nobody getting in there. So this is down to a 2v2 where they know the positioning of both attacking players.
It's a series of individual 1v1s. And pretty close. Shot fired. Gonna force the fight here. Don't know where the second player is, just in the middle of all of this. Nobody buying time as well for Smoggy to try and get into position, but no kill to be received. A thrifty win for PRX. Clear idea of how they wanted to approach it.
Grouping up together and deathballing through Arcade. EDG are the kind of team that are going to try and control that aggression rather than react in an opposite direction. And the desk we're talking about, that is a big evolution of their playstyle. But it also means that PRX are going to be given these fights. That perhaps a little too quick from Kankan, but didn't quite realize the generator had been compromised. There's the kills earlier on in the round, though, that I think are going to happen more and more often. Blowing out my ears there.
The excitement levels. Got to tone it down ever so slightly. So again, still with the death ball. PRX taking all the space towards drop here. 4 players grouped up, fast lane across. What area of the map do they want to play for? Satchel play from Jing, all the way, pathing towards the top, up and around, flashed up onto the side. Jishu could not see it, close to the corner. Howdong will not be able to even it out. He will fall. So massive advantage here for PRX. Pace being the name of their game, building up some massive ultimates on top of it to play this post plan. This is an important fight to win. With Mindfree going down, they don't have the orbital strike. Could this still be winnable?
Jing, however, still has nade and showstopper. I don't really see how it...
Hold your tongue here, Josh, please. Fight taken! Kang! You are ridiculous, son! Dash forwards, he knows that he's made the winning moment a potential reality over the top. Jing seeking to even it out and shut it down into the 1v1. Nana Swarm, a defeat of Smoggy. Hoping to force the fight. Divine knows he doesn't need to wide swing it, doesn't need to face it. The util will do the work. Off to defuse. No chance in hell for Smoggy. So a round win for PRX, but my God, you just never know, Josh.
Yeah, just as I said, there was no chance for them.
You just never know.
When you have the world's best opper on your team, which I think is a very fair statement to make about Kankan, all of these rounds are doable. It's a bit of a gimme onto CGRS. That's kind of inexperience in play, but the kill on Forsaken is nothing short of magical.
I mean, ducking down to lower the head hitbox in the moment.
And then he also pulls out shots like that regularly, doesn't he?
It's nuts.
However, with Kankan falling there, he's forced to pick up a rifle again. And that clearly not quite the game plan for EDG.
Again, such a similar game plan. Stuns rattled across Arcade control. They want to try and push them out of tower. Rolling Thunder, nobody is in such a dangerous predicament. There's a Rolling Thunder used in exchange of that. Trying to peel for him. Push back. 4v4 though. Just the kills exchange. They don't actually have space onto the site to try and get this plant down. So PRX waiting for the util. Now making a play for it. The flash repeat and taking the fight straight up though. Crossfire setup is a little bit too good here for EDG. On point with it.
PRX not using their timing as the smokes were up.
Yeah, here we go. Almost there.
And now Howdong has orbital strike.
Yeah, important to give away. CGRS being asked to fill in for this roster. Now asked to fight against EDG in a 1v3. Got a hope for the jump peak, forcing the fight. Fault line is quite good. Go down. So that's a spike and 40 seconds left. He could take this into a different direction. He's thinking about it. Goes for the noise cut, trying to bait the movement with the rotation. Players are weak.
30 seconds left.
It's just impossible unless he gets the plant down very quickly.
There's the plant. Stuck down. Extension in the round, but yeah, has to force out these fights. Aftershock, wide out in the open. EDG biding their time in that one, making sure to play it with some patience.
But notice how EDG's game plan is to hard anchor the sites. This is what they've been doing a lot, is trying to control aggression by not giving any ground. They are down to fall back slightly and then pounce back upon the attacking players. And this applies to both sides of Fracture. But you see, I think Shishu it was there, hard anchoring with Kankan to support. And then the other players coming in to try and reinforce or flank retake. But that does offer opportunities for this double duelist composition of Forsaken and Jing to overwhelm people with stun nades and the pace that both of those duelists are going to be able to bring.
Right there.
Orbital strike's being held very early on here. What's the play? What have they got?
This is going to be a stun ult off turret contact. They ran this same play against Loud.
Turret takes it. Here's the fault line. Here's the orbital strike. CGRS will be able to just walk out of danger. Space already granted to him as well. Forsaken's going to be pushing forwards. There's a flash over the top as well. They haven't cleared close to the corner though. Chichu with the rifle. Smoke as well. No one's anticipating him to be this pushed up. And he gets out surely over the top. King, the satchel play, the movement's clean. And an attempt of a punish through the smoke again is shut down. Here's the lockdown now.
Look at the timing Kankang's got behind them.
Okay, with the knives.
These flanks are so quick.
Spikes drop down, taking the kills, ripping it away from them. Any semblance of a chance, Devi. They know where he was. He just popped down his own ultimate. Kankang just hoping to take the fight. Here's a stun. Will there be the reface, the repeak? Not over the stepping. Devi, though, forced out into the open eventually. And so 5-2. It's going to be that scoreline for EDG.
You know, the thing that's impressed me the most about this squad, more so than even the fragging and the open and the ridiculous stuff that Kankang and Smoggy, nobody have been able to pull out. I think what's impressive is that they've been able to change their tempo coming into a big tournament like this. And they've had such great reads on how other teams are playing. They know PRX is an all-in squad, that they hit sites, they go fast, meow, double duelist. And so EDG are pushing out immediately on the first piece of contact. Almost as soon as that orbital strike is being used, Kankang's taking space on tree. Because they know that Devi, Mindfreak, they're not playing a slow default, waiting to punish them. There is free, empty space on the map. And EDG are gobbling it up.
Yeah, there for the taking. And PRX are opting into a lot of these 4-1 defaults, splitting into the sites. You're right, it's the fast flanks. Timeout force for PRX. Adjustments are necessary now.
The question is whether PRX can really adjust their style, because I think it would be a lot easier if they were playing with their full 5, but even so, they're playing a double duelist comp that is very much all in. It's all about getting big executes, playing post-plant to some degree with the nano swarms and the brim molly, that kind of stuff, but also potentially getting aggressive in post-plants. But they're kind of getting it forgiven that they're going to be able to explode onto sites and get the spike down. That so far has not happened.
Kankang sitting at 15-4, by the way.
Of course he is.
Right at the tippity top of the scoreboard here.
Against a team notorious for their aim.
Yeah. Just going from strength to strength, this EDG squad. Here's another look.
Look how quickly
The 4-1
EDG are
split.
moving.
Yep, they're already pushing up through spawn. I mean,
They know it's not A.
they have given up a lot of control of A, but yeah, pretty obvious to them at this point. Stunts over and top. Chichu can't land the shots there. Spam onto the angles here with the Phantom. Enough to reset and for Kankang to pick up 2.
One enemy remaining.
Mindfreak, last one left. Smoke in his face that he propped up earlier, just using it to try and reposition. By time and some angles, yet it's adjusted by Howdong once more. With his 3 in the round. EDG running away with it, Josh.
PRX must be sat there wondering if there's 8 players on the opposing team. Because whatever site they hit, there's 4 people there. But it's just the read that EDG have got. I've been so impressed with Howdong's calling and his ability to pick apart teams that have been excellent in the past, or even some of them looking excellent in this tournament. Just tearing them to pieces.
Yeah,
This round, though, maybe this is where the timeout was for, Brent.
with the guns online. It is a lot more slow and a lot more split across the map, the attack side.
Careful here.
Maybe they will seek to punish one of the deeper plays, but
when you make noise at all of the extremities like that, it's going to stop EDG from pushing out on defense.
yeah.
And now PRX need to capitalize on that by actually hitting a weaker site. We can see there's only 2 players now on B.
Smoke drop. Maybe being used, Chichu. Using a lockdown, Howdong close to dice as well, still holding his ground. Forces out the orbital strike. Not for an ult. Inside the smoke still, Devi. Chichu just wading right into that one, looking for potential opening once more. Dash is now active, plans going down, no one's cleared Howdong. He was still close to dice, gets the damage onto the tower player, not enough to reset the aim. Devi is in trouble though. Trailblazer is to be broken, 23 health, 8 bullets. Firing this way, and now with the showstopper goes wide, no damage, Smoky, he's claimed 2. And Mindfreak, he's left alone in a 1v2, spots it out, they lined up for him. Ridiculous stuff.
Well, EDG didn't account for that angle. And Mindfreak will take that to let PRX get their 3rd on the board. What a play.
Yeah.
Spike down.
That round so all over the place. I mean, PRX really did try to make an adjustment out of the timeout, but in some sense, a bit fortunate to be able to even get the round on the board. Like I said, they'll take it. Did the game plan win that, though? Not so sure. We'll have to see if they can keep it up. Kankan pulling out the operator again, looking over towards Dish. Looks like contact and a flash play with a stun. I mean, very heavy trap setup towards Dish. Nobody watching Halls. Not that it matters, because PRX are at tree.
Feels like PRX is going to be granted a free site. And a swarms to delay, but skips right over it with a satchel. Chichu has not been cleared out of tower. The rest of his team delayed as well, swinging through the smoke. Pushed back. Spike retreating now, back towards tree, but Chichu really has just done enough.
That's the kind of free site that comes with some heavy terms and conditions.
Yeah.
You forget to read them and suddenly you're in debt.
That's that heavy anchoring style of EDG. It pays off.
That's what I'm saying. These guys are just, they're not playing retake. They're playing to fast flank and throw help utility and run through smokes and all sorts of stuff to try and make sure that they don't give the sights and don't allow PRX to play post plants. It's a very different approach to most teams.
30 seconds left.
Hey, giving up though. Crossfire. Op angle, line of sight. Kankan as well, he's taking liberties with it. Drops down. Knows that the player plan the default. Smoke opens up the door. Now a watchful eye. Watch drop, misses the shot though. Updraft, Smoke in the face, survives. Even a stun as well. Smoggy so supportive with the util. Enough to push Devi all the way back as well. Flick to the side as well. The precision just not quite there to land it, but still they've taken care of the horse player. Just Devi to deal with. And he was noted just that bit earlier, so EDG find themselves up to 7.
It almost surprises me now when Kankan misses a difficult shot like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what? He can miss? But he survives anyway and is able to distract Devi for long enough for the rest of EDG to clean up. It's really Chishu that wins the round, though, by stopping them from accessing the B site and picking up 2 right from the beginning there. And we're going to go into another timeout. This one called by EDG, strangely enough.
That is interesting.
They've won 4 out of the last 5 rounds. But following Coach Alex taking a timeout for PRX, the pace of the game has changed. It's been a little more spread to start things out, and maybe somebody on EDG or after has decided that they want some input just to make sure these final 2 rounds go in their direction.
PRX going to be feeling the need as well to survive at any cost in this tournament. It's an elimination match, but they are desperately trying to buy time for something to maybe get back into full strength for this roster.
Yeah, it's a tough spot that they've been put into, especially as the final hope of the Pacific region, to be able to grab that extra spot for champs later on. Yeah, it would be extraordinarily tough, but if PRX can somehow make it through this match or even the next and get something in, it could change the tide of the entire tournament. At the moment, though, they've got their hands full dealing with a red-hot Edward Gaming. Kankan, by the way, was taking a look at his operator stats. He ops about 3 times as much as he rifles on defense.
Which is ludicrous.
3 times as much as he has a rifle.
An insane statistic.
Just crazy stuff.
Even the most heavy opping players as well. What is it, like 20% of the time, Josh?
It's about 30%. Like, if you're a really heavy op player, you'll have it in your hands about 30% of the time. He has it 46% on defense.
It's just an outlier. Look at the confidence he has holding this angle as a fault line. Pushing back as well. Space. Vacuums back up again. This PRX seeking to also just push him back for just a moment. Retreating, skipping and hopping. The bunny hops just to get out of there. Rolling Thunder now pushes them all the way through halls, and a call is made to try and fight. Flash is dodged. Chichu, he's the one who's leading the charge of his team. Kankan going to be watching the one angle. They know that they've got them corralled deep to the south side of the map.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah, he shuts it down. So Kankan was really getting away with a little bit too much. Finally punished for the hubris and might have just handed over a real chance, a real shot now of turning this round.
Major kills for Forsaken to get online, and the economy now looks phenomenal for PRX, right? 2 Vandals and an Operator in this round where they had only brought in odds and ends. Smoggy hears nothing. And Howdong has cleared the whole of the north side.
30 seconds
They
left.
have Brimalt here to deny Plant.
Yeah, the longer this takes, the worse it's going to look. Plant onto the corner.
Spike
Stuck.
planted.
There's an ult. A little bit delayed, though, but it does force out a clean fight for Smoggy. Brings it to a 2-on-2. Chance for PRX. They'd love to convert it. Reposition now for Forsaken all the way through tunnel. He's going to be hunting for a chance all the way round here. The op handed over to Devi. 26 health, though. He'd have to land the first shot towards main. We don't have any nano swarms for the Plant. Time starting to run, though. Here the spike ticking. Forsaken, that lurk prior comes in handy. And there it is. Shots found. Pushing right through the smoke. Thrifty converted. Maybe EDG getting a little bit ahead of themselves.
Last round in the
I like the idea, to be honest. I think they were applying pressure in a really nice way. What they lacked was anybody to properly follow up. The A-Halls players were trying to drop back and make sure they couldn't get punished. And it all came down to Kangkang following up on the breach ultimate with his operator. It is a bit bizarre sometimes, the moments in which Kangkang finds himself being required to find value. I mean, you mostly see it on the attack side, but usually he's good for it. This is a major swing, though. Coming into the final round, PRX have got all the ults.
Oh. Plenty to work with. War chest filled up. Fast lane went right over the top. Cuts up towards the B side, but they are anchoring close. Here's a lockdown.
I love the idea of this. Forsaken was just controlling tunnel early, so that if EDG pushed this area, they'd get punished.
They're seeking to try and refight, but they're going to be caught up in this ult. Where is the force side as well? Worrying about it. Orbital strike towards the edge of the map.
Nobody got two!
Nobody's grabbed 2 kills!
With a judge, a tree!
It's left it now. 3 players left standing for EDG to try and push this one back. There's Spike eventually starting to get planted. Final round of the first half.
spike planted.
Damage is done. CGRS with the Rolling Thunder. He's stunned up close to the corner. Forced to use it, unleashes it, lets it rip straight across. And the fight's still taken. Not with the rifles, just the stingers. Damage as significantly done here to Forsaken and Jing. Single bullet. Gust of wind will be enough to bring them down. It's all down to that crossfire angle. Jing, and now about the timing that he takes. Anticipating it, the second play, he knows he's at dicing. Here's the footsteps, but he just cannot win it. Smoggy with the 3-piece, 8-4 being the final score here of the first half.
And those final 2 rounds, absolutely on a knife's edge. I mean, winnable for either team and could have completely changed the complexion of this half. Anywhere from a 9-3 in EDG's favor to being PRX recovering the half and it ending 7-5, where a pistol would have sent us back into it being an even map. Tumultuous end, but EDG in control.
Control here with a pistol round for PRX. I've said it once before, say it again. Really does need to be a must-win for them to stand a chance in this map because, I mean, EDG's attack side, it looks good on this map, Josh. They have a ton of nuance for what they want to do, and it's going to lead to this early fight into B main control towards Tree. Players grouped up. It's going to be a clash early on. Forsaken. Does he seek to use some util or what? I mean, not quite. It's a counter play!
God, that's
they bait
good.
them in and strike them back.
Oh my God, off Chishu's turret contact, they wait like 3 seconds to make sure that they'd committed and then catch them. Oh, it's sickeningly good. The ideas and the execution are all on point for Edward Gaming.
Yeah, and this is the kind of evolution of this team that we've been discussing. They're no longer such an all-in team. All aim, no brain, even though nobody is going across the ropes right now looking for the reflank. But that's going to be paying off a little bit later. The post-plan positioning is just way too good right now. Clearance to tower. Have to use a flash for it. It falls, though. First
Nice
level
shot.
to it. A tap onto the defuse. Where is the util to push them away? Stuck onto it halfway already. There needs to be some form of damage being done, and there it is. The collapse. Flooding through the smokes. Striking and converging.
And that pistol round showcasing that even if PRX hit a couple of really nice shots, EDG's game plan right from the beginning to be able to generate a couple of picks and have post-plant ideas, they're just, ever since they got over that mental hurdle of getting their first win at a global event, they've looked like a completely different team.
Sky's the limit.
Their individual level has gone higher, but also their team play and their game plans have just been awesome to watch. Everybody on PRX is on A. A
Whole
pure
team
gamble.
grouped up. Yeah, it is a massive gamble.
There.
Gonna pray to convert, get a couple of kills here.
And look at the way that EDG are going.
Opposite direction. EDG happy to slow this one down, but are they going to hear this? This rush, this Tempest is coming straight towards them, even if it is Classics, it's still PRX. These guys can aim, divide, not wasting any time, straight across the ropes, fault line, into the side, into the corner, that's to try and set them up here. ADS with the Bulldog, gonna try and beam them all down, and that's exactly what Chichu will do. Seeks to collapse.
Meanwhile, nobody just ran in through Dish, took the whole of the A site, and flanks through.
He's like, guys, I cleared it out. It's free.
Devi is left in a 1v3 and a Bulldog to his name. They don't know where he's positioned, so it's a little scary here for EDG. They've got to hold hands to start with, but Devi's not going to be in danger for quite a while.
Trailblazer should be spotting him out, maybe dodging it. Yeah, expires, so doesn't give an indicator, but the turret will be watching for the peek from main. Doubled up towards default. It's a high-low setup on top of that, so EDG have plenty of layers here. The stun did miss though. Isolates the fight enough for just the one, but Devi going to be traded in the end, so 10-4. It's the scoreline we're looking at, staring at.
Yeah, and if PRX had won the pistol, maybe you could believe in some kind of comeback. I think that would be difficult, but not impossible. At this point, it is looking pretty impossible. PRX, they would have to cook up some spectacular aggression on defense and overwhelm an EDG team that's been looking excellent at containing it so far.
So barriers dropping down.
Here's PRX going for their anti-Killjoy setup.
Satchel and the smoke.
They send the wall out from tower, and they wrap Forsaken underneath. If EDG have been watching any level of VODs of PRX playing, to be honest, on this map, they'll know roughly that the entirety of the B site has been taken.
That's probably why they were playing it so slowly. There's a flash to the side, no connection from nobody. They don't actually have any semblance of the A site.
But look at
the A
this.
Hall's control, now they're already rotating off.
Yeah, love it from Haodong. He's called a re-clear of tree as they drag everybody on PRX over to the A side. Nobody's got to avoid getting punished here.
Wants to stand his ground.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Out to the open,
not
yeah.
a good idea.
Not a favored fight, Bulldog versus the rifle. There's a lockdown though. They don't have control B main. There is no flank threaten from PRX. They actually don't have any tools really to take out this lockdown, so the site's going to be cleared out. Should be able to get the plan down.
Haodong with a molly. Smoggy still has Aftershock. You've got Chishu possibly with Nanoswarm lineups, although at the moment he's in tunnel.
Comes down to hitting these shots for PRX. Starting to flood back in now. It's a flash, sets them up. I heard a satchel at play. Chichu with this flank timing. Forsaken staring up towards the ceiling on top of the ropes. Well, no kill found. Chichu's running and gunning, man. Fully accurate. Why not? Trying to push them and punish them out of tower, but it's that 1-2 punch, that 1-2 combo. EDG, too damn good at playing off of one another.
And a lovely idea to flank in the post plant. They're always getting active in the post plant. It doesn't have to be all of their team, but at least one player. And Shishu there really delivers. The timing immaculate on Forsaken. And a bit dodgy on Mind Freak, but he'll take that. Fantastic round. Especially considering that they lost that A Halls player, Nobody, who was supposed to contain a little. EDG now swapping things up entirely, playing a 4-1 setup on the other side, avoiding the south side crunch.
There's a turret, spots that Jing, they know exactly what's going on.
How have they read that?
A Halls has been taken up here by Chichu. He is alone though, there was no squeeze on the other side. And yeah, just anticipating it. The fast play towards it, already onto the side. There's a satchel play over the top here, dash from Kang. No one clearing that corner. Skips and hops though, breaks across their placement just enough for these kills and still anchoring towards the back. That's Devi out the smoke. They thought the molly was safe. Okay, PRX. Pulling around like that one out of seemingly nowhere.
Devi on the site for me is the playmaker. Stinger in hand, swings through the smoke, deletes 2 players to make sure that EDG don't have control and a plant down and buying time for the flank to come through. EDG possibly with a read on the fact that a Southside Crunch was coming there, or maybe just a little lucky with where they position their players. Didn't pay off. This might incentivize PRX to go for that more and more. It looks like they could do it again.
Smoke's down.
Oh, here we go. There's the first kill for you. Kang just taking a straight-up duel towards Halls. Jing goes down.
And that's certainly going to slow the pace. Having said that, though, Forsaken certainly making his presence known towards Tree. Normally, that's baited out EDG going for a re-clear at about the minute mark. But Forsaken's not sticking around to find out.
It's going to be that re-clear like you were talking about. Towards B-Tree, nobody. Oh, almost punishing that jump spot, but he might get punished himself. Shots just quite land there for Forsaken. He still seeks to try and squeeze and put the punish onto him. CGRS was right behind him. That's the reason why. Kang looking forwards inside of his own smoke. The shorty, that is the perfect range for it. So cleaning up the jet player. Taking a wide face as well into this. Forsaken seeking as well to do some damage. Orbital strike, lay it on top to force the fights out into the open. One round at a time is what it's going to take.
PRX have got a couple of big win conditions here, I think, to get back into the game. And one of them is Forsaken having impact like that. Forsaken or Jing, either of the two duelists, needs to be dominating in the same kind of fashion that Kanka was dominating the first half. They need to be able to find the timings.
Nice one, guys.
And find the kills. The other major one is punishing nobody when he's alone like this. Look at his position again. EDG love to play 4-1 with their initiator on that side of the map. I don't think nobody's being respectful enough.
Howdong's fallen early there just from the rifle spam setting it up. CGRS is keen to take a fight. Dodged a flash right into it. Weaker weaponry. Couldn't offset that aggression. Couldn't push it back, and yet nobody is quick to claim space towards drop, but it's another round. Very quickly here for PRX. Shaping up to potentially evening it out.
The score was 11-4 here, and now it's starting to become a little more close, a little more tense. If PRX end up winning this one and knocking the economy back down for EDG, we may well have a bit of a comeback on our hands.
This next round's going to be really pivotal. You can see the economy set up.
So many ults.
So, yeah, if EDG end up losing it, the money's going to be looking pretty dire.
PRX are going to go for a north side crunch here because Shishu has his lockdown. So they want to try and take control of an area of the map and play retake B.
I've got your trail.
No intention from EDG to play there.
Yeah, not at all.
Seeker spotting out a lot of presence over towards drop.
Look at this.
They're in their spawn.
Yeah, nobody and Kankan going for an exploration.
Yeah. Divide seems to be aware of this one. I mean, it's just jiggling the angle, holding close towards it, but A has been granted to them, so Howdong's getting that plant off.
I mean, I love this idea. You flash off Kankang's contact and try and collapse on the players in spawn.
Even just a flash straight up. I mean, that didn't tag onto absolutely anybody here. Still nobody takes the fight. They are being squeezed. They've lost control of drop close to the corner. It's really nice movement from Divide. Opens that one up. There's the other flash. Jing ready to dodge and receive. Over to strike round the side here up to the Horse players, but they are weak. It's them against 4. Stun gonna be catching, gliding, flick to the side. Shorty up close, brought it to just the two of them down. Can't hit the spray down. Howdong will fall. PRX grabbing another, and Josh, I said it was gonna be pivotal. The economy might be able to get a half armor rifle purchase online if you are EDG, but losing that one,
That's
the backbreaker, isn't it?
It absolutely is. This setup, I like the idea of it. Why nobody decided to flash and give away that they had some kind of aggression there, I'm not quite sure. Maybe he got antsy because nobody was watching towards Dish and he was worried about getting pushed, but I think he's in a fairly safe spot there, to be honest with you. I think that might be EDG just feeling like, oh, we'll take a timing, instead of going off the discipline that has honestly brought them to this spot. That's now 4 rounds in a row, and PRX have got it within 3. EDG used a lot of ults in the prior round, but they've still got some to work with. They can certainly get Smoggies online by picking up an ult orb, and there's always that lockdown to play around. I think they should have a good idea that PRX are doing aggressive stuff based on the lockdown being in play.
They've been good at getting reads on that in the past, at least punishing it. the slower play, baiting a little bit of an attempt to push out towards tree. You remember that one round where they're playing off the turret contact?
Definitely.
So they have an idea of what to do to punish this kind of play style.
The question is what the economy's going to look like. Oh my God.
That was absurd. I was thinking to myself, he was stunned. Maybe we should buff that. I don't know. That's quite insane.
Well, they didn't win the round, so
that's true.
It's fine.
True. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, the economy is not looking great here. Nobody's wondering whether to buy a hero rifle, which I don't think would be the right idea.
It's a weird one. I mean, I think with about 1,000 in the bank, they should still be able to buy it for next. So there is some danger in the round here for EDG. That's Forsaken. But how does he anticipate that?
He was just aiming for the
turret. Right.
Howdong decided to body block for the turret, I suppose.
We're seeking to burst out of the smoke, but losing a player because of it. Howdong at that. You don't have smokes now to burst your way into any of these sides. Still standing Forsaken. Are you really seeking to try and take a fight here? Yeah, lining up for him, but a flash pushing him back. Kang around the side.
What
It's a glimpse of Mind Freak. Yeah, just can't quite win it. They gotta know he's here. There it is. It's cleaned up by Jing towards the backside of Arcade. Feeling it. Tap of the spike. It's a little bit all over the place. Might just be a bit of an aim duels round. Very wide swing. That sets up a nice little two-piece.
That's a big problem. Now Chishu has lockdown, and they know that they have tunnel control.
This does not have the ult for it.
This has gone from PRX controlling the round really nicely, prodding at the extremities, to suddenly it might all be thrown away.
Yeah, and they've got to get out of there.
30 seconds
No
left.
detainment. The site's going to be granted to them. Cracked it open. Nobody. That's going to be going down. Still an aftershock online. A bit of spam into the common corner. But yeah, it's Smoggy. Can't quite wide face enough to try and offset it, to try and trade it. Has to play the crossfire setup. Chichu. So much emphasis on him to hit these shots and hit them well. Only the first. Nothing to be gained after that. PRX. It's recovered. It is recovered.
And the silver lining is also that they drew out the lockdown. So now PRX don't necessarily have to opt too much into the aggression, worrying about what that Killjoy ult can do. Unfortunate.
One enemy remaining.
EDG really were looking to just explode through that smoke and got caught inside of it. Now they'll have rifles on board though, round 21. This is now 5 in a row for PRX. The score, to remind you, was 11-4. And now suddenly, it's almost tied.
It's becoming materialized before our eyes. 2 rounds away from making it even. Stun. You're going to be holding this off of some form of contact. Jing's also there with a showstopper.
Yeah, it's the
Not
alarm
sure what the
bot.
indicator is.
But the alarm bot is so
It's
close
so
to
close,
them.
yeah. It can't be off that, surely.
It's either going to go incredibly or terribly for
Here we go.
PRX.
Pay attention to Jing. Here's the alarm bot. Here's the stun. This is to the side. It's run and gun in action. Up close, dash to disengage. Spike has been dropped. Flash in his face. Kang could not dodge it in time, so the trap play, it pays off massively. Left up to Chichu. Nobody.
Bomb grenade out.
They lay claim to the side. They get themselves into position, but they still don't have that spike.
And how would they get it back? A jump-up drop? I mean, when are you ever going to be favored taking a duel like that? And the big reason that that trap play works is because Kang takes a step back away from the alarm bot instead of going forwards through it.
There's the timing, though.
Could this still be winnable?
They've actually just lurked themselves into the spawn. I mean, 37 seconds left. They know that they have to push up towards drop.
And there's no flashes. How do they get up here?
Has to be broken. CGRS
30
once more
seconds
holding that util, waiting for some sort of timing. Here's an alarm bot. Holding for the fault line. Jing seeking to delay with the satchels. It would have to be just an absolute miracle in terms of shots being landed. EDG still doubled up, hoping that somebody will walk into them. Here's a flash, jumping right up to the top, but again, yeah, not set up for it. So Jing walks away with 4. One more round will bring them even.
On such a fine margin, whether or not that trap play failed, I really believe. I mean, if Kang takes a step forward through the alarm bot and then one of his teammates breaks it, and he's able to, you know, shoot Jing, he's essentially right on top of all of the PRX players. Nevertheless, that went perfectly as visualized by PRX as they were setting it up. I mean, that one, that's like the dream scenario for them there. And they're going to go, it looks like, for another Southside crunch. They have both duelists over towards Tree.
Yep. They're not worried, are they? But they're going up against the half-bite. Stuns. Oh! No way! Oh. Jing, your movement is just impeccable. It's up to EDG to take up the space quickly. Rapid is the approach through halls. Dash is active, but they are feeling the hurt from that one. They're going to be left reeling. Such clean movement. Door opens up towards Sand. Fights there. Kang. No adjustment with the aim. Can't hit the transfer. It was an impossible shot for it, so it's traded still. Jing left alive. This guy turning into an absolute raid boss.
A 2v3 for EDG. I feel like so many of these rounds have come down to moments like this.
Door opens up, flash into Sand. Spike's dropped though into Vi. Of course he takes the fight.
So many moments like that, Brent, and yet they've all ended the same way, with PRX winning it out. A great idea, this. We've seen it a few times. Seems a bit ambitious on an eco, on an anti-eco, but it looks absolutely beautiful. And I talked earlier about EDG being the favorites for the first time ever in this match. It's a revenge game against a team that beat them 2-1 at Champs last year. Is this the pressure getting to them? Is this a bit of choking happening? It's 7 rounds in a row here, some of them very winnable.
An ability to close some of them out. Stuns traded.
I've got your trail.
Util seeking to equalize. It's a rolling thunder. Catches onto Kang. There won't be any follow-up. There's a nade used prior, so Jing just using it to delay. Push all the way through. Nobody. He does claim Sand control the updraft play as well, giving up the side entirely. What is the call by PRX? They seek to fight towards Sand. The potential's there. Holding inside the smoke for now. A-Hall's control going to be theirs. Lockdown in play. Comes down to the timings. Kang gets away with that one. Breaking the timing as well. There won't be any detainment, so he's going to be scot-free, but it has given up a lot of the site. Spike was planted. There's a huge flank and wrap around by Chichu while all this is happening, so he needs to get a bit of a jog on and a bit of a move on. PRX across the site. Damage being done to a few of them here. Fault line to try and set them up once more, but they're winning their aim duels out, and Chichu was found, caught in the moment. It's up to Smoggy. He's low enough, Forsaken just sticking it. They can spam the angle down. This is PRX with a resounding comeback. 1 round away from taking the map.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is without something in the lineup. 11-4 down. And at no point did PRX stop believing, it seems. That's an excellent shot too. But to think that even in this scenario, in a 4v5 without site control, PRX still were able to win. Major ultimates invested, and now EDG need to stop the tide just to be able to take us to overtime.
Operator purchased, he's pre-aiming it, anticipating the same play. Showstopper from Jing, close to the corner though, reactions, and shutting him down. No rocket fired.
Forsaken was going for the same,
on the box.
He was going for the same angle again. I cannot believe it.
He might go for the repeat. Oh my, the reactions narrowly missed. Just unable to hit that shot, but he knows that there's some emphasis and pressure being applied there to the corner. Forsaken still takes the fight. All popped off.
And Kankan heavily punished for that little crosshair wiggle that he loves to do.
Here's Sand control, doubled up. PRX looking to try and bring this one over the line now. 1 kill found, damage done to Chichu, but there is that trade still. 3 versus 3. Positioning's theirs, no side control. Halls, it's all been slowed down. 50 seconds in the round. There's time to do so. Lockdown in play for Chichu. When does he seek to use it though? Mind Freak repositions himself to a hard anchor spot just behind default here. Here's the lockdown being used close. Mind Freak now. He'll be hunting for a chance to get a kill. You can't reposition from this. He's locked out in the open. Buying time, flashes exchanged. 2 seconds remaining. Strikes back and gets the 1. 2 versus 2. Plant now. Time going to be bought. The PRX.
Forsaken on the flank.
On the verge here. And this flank's going to be huge for them. 1 more round to bring it over the line. EDG desperate to cling on for a chance of OT. The players are weak. Turret heard to the side. Forsaken doesn't want to give away his positioning, not yet. The longer you play this, the worse it's going to look. Finally, a time is taken. Forsaken. The jump, the jiggle, spots it out, baits out the shot. They know they're there, but they double up the fight anyway. EDG The potential to win this one is within their grasp, and with shots like that, Smoggy eventually, finally, they get that round on the board, and they take it to OT.
It feels like such a mental block, because at the final hurdle, when everything is eventually on the line, they're then able to win. It's like they need the pressure. It's like they need to be backs against the wall on the ropes in order to deliver. 12-12. EDG have had their share of overtimes. Almost all of their big games have featured one in some way or another.
No strangers to this situation. Here's an interesting one. Look at Device purchase.
The attack operator, really?
Yeah, on the Killjoy.
He's going to be holding tree, potentially looking to just counter-op Kankan, who isn't there, by the way. He's in halls.
Trailblazer's going to be used to carve out a path, get some information into halls. Nobody taking that space because they hear the boom bot towards drop, knowing that it's compromised. PRX not going all in into one section of the map, just a little bit of poking and prodding.
They fought to get Jing the orb. I wonder if they're trying to set up for something like that.
Divide this whole time has been holding onto tree control with that operator. So PRX can go back into this knowing that nobody's wrapped around towards tunnel. Re-clearance necessary towards arcade, but they're still opting to just contact plays, man. Tilda up close, now you see it. Nade flying past, along with the stun to set it up. The goal going to be to try and take that tower's control. Clean movement again off the ropes. Chichu is there onto the corner. Can he even get one? Back towards it. Needs to land the shots as well. It's traded out with the rifles and not anticipating that CGRS would be a third line of defense. Devi catching the rotations. All down to Smoggy. Turret sees him. It's a 1v3. Quick dodge of the flash. This guy has been a savior for EDG. Can he really overcome this? Baits out the ops shot. Finds a clean fight, but just cannot win it out. Not against CGRS right now. It's PRX who find themselves once more at match point.
Both teams only able to take 4 rounds on attack. Coming to overtime, and PRX have a very different idea. Dish pressure, go back into an arcade split, overwhelm Shishu, playing hard anchor, like we talk about so much in that first half. And then devise operator to
fight for survival. They want to buy as much time as possible to potentially get their full roster back together in time to really make a good go at Masters Tokyo.
They are a team, though, that feels free when you're looking at them. The way in which they play, they've done a lot of work in keeping the mentality high. Devi's going to pick up the operator again on the defense side, again towards Tree, giving his team information, but that info is that there's no one there. PRX and Northside crunching into them.
Meaning a match. It's rifles and lead. And Fire and Fury exchange on the north side of the map. Just the containment being the playbook for EDG. It works out. Comes at 3-3. No real advantage to either side here, but a bit of a scramble for PRX on their defensive side. They've lost a lot of control of the map.
Seekers.
Yeah,
nobody got both of those 2 kills, and now he's got the ult orb for Seekers online. This could be monumental to allow Kankang to have impact on the lurk. It's going to tell him exactly where these players are, and more importantly, perhaps where they're not.
All the Seekers leading their way over towards B here. Do they still want to try and commit into the side? It looks likely, doesn't it? There's a stun. Should be caught with that one. Divide still with the operator. Shorty up close. CGRS unable to find that kill and claim it through the smokes. Kankang wants to take the time. He wants to take the fight straight to them, but Mindfreak shuts it down. Spike out in the open. It's nobody in a 1v2. This is for the map. For EDG, a chance to once more extend the play of OT. He's been given free rein towards the site. An open plant. Hoping to isolate the fight once more, tap onto it, sees the shoulder, sees the util. Is he going to expect it? Time still running short. Devi hitting the shot and closing out the map.
Biting his fingers, heading into map 2.
Yeah.
You're listening to the coach talk about how they allowed themselves to fall into the frantic pace that PRX end up playing at. It's got to be controlled for EDG. And when I think back to their attack side versus Liquid, it was very, very slow in general. They threw in a couple of fast rounds, but they mostly grouped up, as they're doing here on the pistol, on A or B, and then just played slowly.
Seiken He's eager to take a name off the list. And there we go. Kang down and out. Winning against the opposites here. Dash play forwards. Mindfreak seeking as well. Hold it down towards the choke point, but taken out. Traded, so 3 for 3. But damage has been done. It's
That's
quite
dangerous.
significant. Nade. Yeah, that's going to be getting value. Line them up for him.
Down B.
2 ripped away with Jing and Divide. Oh, they're feeling it. When you see the sheriffs coming out, the purchase from Divide, you know that they've got confidence.
Absolutely. Forsaken too. Both of them ripping heads off and doing so much chip damage that Jing was able to drop into the site and get 2 with a nade and just a tag of a frenzy. Simple cleanup. And the first round going quickly for
Spike
EDG.
down B.
I'm sure we'll see some variety in pace over their attack side on split. And I'm very confident that their coach has already passed along that piece of feedback to them. But it's not a great start for this Chinese team that's been on a blinder of a run so far. 4 players up here in mid on this eco round and just... Oh, someone slipped through into Mail actually as Devi controls that area.
Decay damage really kicking in the midst of all of that. There's a nade dropped down at the feet of Devi. Mindfreak's got to know that Chichu's cross. That's what he's holding for. Gang. He's making a mockery of the
no
game.
way.
An absolute mockery, man.
Well, talk about bad starts. Instantly turned around unless Jing can pick up a 1v4.
Okay. Tactical shooter, very precise.
That's what this game is going to be a lot of, Brent. It's a double duelist mirror here. On split, we've seen a few of them over in the Americas region, less elsewhere in the world. But they do, they can have a lot of fast-paced rounds to them. This one is just bizarre, because Divide didn't even realize that Shishu had got himself into main. And then you get Kangkang jumping around like
Yeah,
Like
I don't know.
Bunny.
Yeah. Just rolling them with the judge. Gifted him a gun there, makes the most of it.
That's a giggle from Divide, despite the fact that they've lost round 2 and completely crushed their economy.
So 1-1. Early days in the map.
And this is more what you saw the pace of EDG's attack side looking like against Liquid. Very slow contact plays behind the Viper utility over towards A. And often, actually, with even more people over there. Sometimes 4 or even 5 playing a slow round like that. This one is spread to make sure that they can collect PRX if they push mid or push B.
Crossover towards ramp. Good clearance there off the dog. Necessary info. It's forced the dash out of Forsaken. He's worried about a repeat attempt. They're going to be getting even more information. Where's Jing found that one?
That's ludicrous.
Did he just leap into the choke?
Yeah, that's absolutely ludicrous.
Okay, smokes fade. Reals Forsaken's positions. Everybody else now starting to walk to all of those angles. CGRS
Spike down
tries to calm
A.
down the Sheriff, but the shot's only one landing.
So EDG neutralized PRX in that round. Here we're gonna. I mean, this is the play
Okay.
that he makes. He goes for the knife.
Well, he did damage.
Yeah.
That's 75. Yeah, he did knife him.
Okay, great work, I suppose.
Incredible.
Coming into this next one, I really want to take a look at the tempo that EDG plays at and how quickly PRX are able to rotate. That, to me, that's the big issue between these two teams. If PRX is able to get the reads early on, it's going to help them massively on defense. And this is fast again from EDG.
So
Not mid.
fast. I mean, the double satchel play with the pull. Enough to take male control. Forsaken takes a fight though. Smoke recalled in his face. Haodong set up for the fight. Wins it. Dog seeing CGRS. The stun did not connect. They were intending to use the nade for that location, but decide against it.
In the midst of all of this, Mindfreak is sneaking out through B main, challenging
still-
Haodong.
I mean, he's got the read on this. I mean, Haodong's just jiggle peeking it, expecting there to be the re-clearance.
Very well played. This is an adjustment to how PRX like to play, how aggressive they are on defense. It's not a big set double duelist execute on the defensive side like we'd see sometimes on Fracture, but they're just two people, one after another, re-clearing B main to try and grab that information back for PRX. And Haodong's ready for it. That's not just the Astra controlling B main as you'd expect, but that's also their IGL, right? That's the player that's going to be working with After to craft the game plans to potentially take down this squad.
PRX forced to save. Yeah, I mean, absolutely rent-free, isn't it, from Haodong, just being able to spot out those players and understanding the tendencies of PRX as a team, looking to try and re-clear moments like that when they're a player down. I will say, you know, when I was thinking about the stylistic matchup between these two teams, EDG were getting punished quite a bit by how slow they were playing their split attack side last time around against Liquid. But I think against PRX will always be trying to take the initiative on the defense side.
Yeah.
They're going to be handing a lot of those openings to EDG if they decide to play that really slowed down, crawled play style.
I think in general, the stylistic matchup does favor EDG. They're the kind of team that likes to slow the pace and punish any reaction that comes out of their opponents.
Yeah.
It works beautifully well in China, where teams are a little more sloppy. But it certainly did not work on map 1. Like After was saying, they got dragged more into the frantic reactionary play instead of making sure they controlled every part of the map. It's more difficult, you could argue, on Fracture, though, with 4 entrances.
Knives online here for Forsaken. Blade Storm. Bit of information gathered there. Skyflash through. Kang seems to lurk his way into mid, just can't quite get the aim. A rifle under control.
And you do not expect a Sky to be playing in that kind of position. Just a really odd off angle for CGRS to be on. And Kang was thinking it was completely open. So gets caught there, very unaware.
Dogs exchanged.
And we go back into the same kind of stuff. EDG, they don't like to take early map control on their attack side. It was a very odd game plan they were demonstrating in the game against Liquid, and they're doing it again here.
Off angle for Jing. Smoke in his face. Any Cosmic Divide. Double up draft. No heads found. Jing's still there. Eventually the Cosmic Divide is here. Here's the showstopper. Puts it away. Shot. I don't know what happened there, but Jing does not get value from it when he saw 2 of the targets.
Got to be a missed input or something, right?
Yeah, it's surely. I mean, that's brutal. Should have been winning that fight out. And speaking of such, Main's still locked down. Haodong taking out Divide. CGRS feeling like he has to make a play in a moment there, pushing forwards to the angle that was being spammed into elbow. Beautiful flash into the corner. Mindfreak hopping away here, contained.
And EDG continue to find success with this unorthodox playstyle. One of the reasons why it looks so odd is that they're starting their A executes from so far away. You see other teams like to try and fight over a ramp control early on, so that if they decide to exec into the sites, they can do it from closer. They give less warning to the defending players over there. But on the positive side, unless you go and actually contest a ramp, you don't really know whether EDG are there or not. It's so quiet. Extremely contacty approach. But I mean, look at how little map control the attackers start with when you choose this strategy.
Yeah, it's like they've just drawn up lines in terms of where they seek to take the fights from, but nobody's willing to cross it.
We're 25 seconds into the round. They don't have A main, B main, or mid.
It's so passive.
It's very passive, and it works if PRX are going to peek into you. Maybe Forsaken will give them that. They must have spotted him there.
Wall up, there's a gap towards it. Forsaken, dash to disengage, straight to the wall.
Kang getting a taste of his own medicine there, running into the operator.
Risky jiggle there from Mindfreak. Triggers out the pull. Repositions actually now towards the backside of B. But again, EDG defaulting into an A hit. Players grouping up. They were doing this all the time against Liquid.
Forsaken's already over here. Feels like he has a read.
Yeah, I mean, with mid pushed up this deep, they have to know that this is going out. Surely, Forsaken
30 seconds left.
pushing forwards to the start at his feet. What time does he take? Dash forwards into the smoke updraft to escape the ire.
But he chooses to go in, not out.
Yep, there is going to be some of that pushback. Viper's Pit in his face. Flash over to the side. Haodong shuts down CGRS and Jing as they seek to enter. Still a shot lands. Dash is back online, but a spray through. Anticipating the re-swing and the re-peek. Right on the flank now. You have to try and bring down the pit to stand a chance. Might come down. Luck of the draw, but Haodong So consistent. There's Chichu falling. The pit will go down as well. Aim adjusted, Divide. 18 bullets. Player weak enough. Howdong, a single shot should do it. Him versus Divide, and Divide on the cusp of greatness. Waiting it out, seeking the recross, yet takes the fight anyway. Beautiful stuff from Divide.
A 1v3 from a player who has been so clutch, so good in Pacific this season. Adds a Red Bull clutch onto it at a global tournament. Arguably, Divide has been one of the most impactful players in the Pacific run that they've had to collect a trophy in their region.
What the?
Don't ask.
Interesting.
One enemy remaining.
What a play towards the end. That really should have been EDG's. Game plan worked perfectly. They were able to pop into the A site, catch Forsaken. It's all just based on Divide's heroics. But that's only the second round that PRX have been able to find. And the first was a pistol that they lost the follow-up for. So this is still dire straits. Now, having said that, the double duelist comp is mostly going to be powerful on the attack side. I think even if EDG get up to 11, I mean, I guess they can't. Even if EDG get up to 10 here, if it's a 10-2 half, I don't think anyone can call it after what we saw on Fracture.
Yeah, I mean, it's anyone's game really, isn't it? The amount of one-sided halves we've seen throughout this entire tournament, one-sided maps as well.
One-sided, yeah. I mean, PRX knows something about that. They've got 12-0 on Lotus.
Yeah.
That's the third map. We've just got madness all the way through this series.
Here it is, tail end of the timeout here for PRX. I mean, the adjustments that they've made so far, though, they're trending in the right direction. Opping for Forsaken. Can't play it as aggressively, even though he has been taking a lot of these peaks and trying to anchor with the op. In theory, it should slow down the need for them to try and fight really hard. And with the way EDG are playing, they really do rely on PRX to make those aggressive plays.
Now, I see your Forsaken op, and I'd like to raise you a Kang attacking raise op with a showstopper.
I think Kang might win.
We'll see. They're on opposite sides of the map at the moment here, but...
well, Kang
he does get the first.
Yeah, he's winning somewhere, isn't he? Can always count on Kang.
Divide's gone for this push down mid many times so far.
Easily punishable if the timing is incorrect, but Orb starts to go down. B main control. Howdong is close to this left corner. Fight taken here. There's no trade really inside because it's an operator that Forsaken's got. He's worried about the reswing. Picks out the shorty. Maybe hoping to try and dash up onto the opposition, but it allows Howdong a chance to just escape out of there, and he's holding even further back, close to the corner once more. Gambles incorrectly, the barrel sticking out. I think Howdong knows exactly what to expect, yet still, the shot lands. Kang, he's taking a little walkabout, a casual jaunt into mid.
Again, bizarre from EDG, having gone to play Rub, but it's 3v3, sorry. And EDG have gone for another exec into A, late round.
So Smoggy's using that smoke to cross into the site device crosshair placement. That is perfect. Finds the first one, Jing is up in the air, there's no shot, he gets a kill, man.
30 seconds left.
Sailing right through. 25 seconds left, Smoggy, he's seeking a kill to try and turn the tide of it, but it's just not happening, man. PRX are playing with just another level of freedom. I mean, it's purely whimsy.
Yeah, I mean, EDG are going to take a tack time out here, and I think they need to. They're getting punished for the way that they're playing. Okay, so let's start here. Howdong played this situation really nicely, but when Kang walks up mid like that, he doesn't have a distraction. He's doing that before the A hit even comes through. He can't use utility because he doesn't want to give away that he's there, so he's just walking up mid hoping to catch a timing. That's not an effective way of generating value for your team as an attack side raise. It's just not going to work often enough. EDG look very one-dimensional right now, despite being in the lead. And I think that's concerning for a team that just let an 11-4 advantage slip through their hands.
Can't afford it again. Plenty of ults online to make the most of here. EDG feeling the heat, of course, that's why they take the timeout out, but they do have some big tools to work with. Cosmic Divide, Showstopper, can formulate something here.
Certainly.
Fast A hits tend to be quite popular when you've got those combos.
They could also go fast mid. We've seen them run a play where they pull in mail and do a double blast back up mid. You know, they've got options there, but for PRX, if you don't see something quick and aggressive to start the round, You can just hold an off angle at mid and B main and start stacking A, right? Have they shown anything different? I don't think so.
Oh boy. Look at the minimap. Gonna be walking right into Forsaken with the operator in his hand. It's critical that he finds an opening. Contact plays the start, recalled at the beginning, all grouped up here. What is there going to be to play for it? Cosmic Divide cuts it through, flash, position gained and noted. Stunned up Forsaken, they updraft, everything expended to get out of line. He's going back in! Through the wall, you've got to be joking me! And the showstopper's there. In exchange for his life, Kang, he will receive one, and the spike has been dropped down in the middle of nowhere. Cosmic Divide on top of it, it's going to split the side up entirely. It's used off the back of it, and PRX, they have all the advantages here.
I mean, Kang just threw the spike into enemy territory, and now it's going to get pitted.
Yeah, this is essentially a lost round.
What a disaster for EDG.
The only way this gets salvaged is by luck of the draw. Some random spam. Bring down the pit, get a kill. The advantage of the pit is it does allow them to contact it a little bit now and take better timing. Shots fired.
It did land.
Might have to be a 3-2-1 push through into the pit at the same time. Chu from the high ground. Snake bite at the choke. Pushes back one of the angles, one of the fights. Jing so close to the wall, dropping down, and yep, it is that luck of the draw. The random spam, the spray through. Device still alive though, and that means the pit is up. Just contain the tap onto that spike. Forcing out the positioning, Shorty to bait it out with the swing. Finally the pit goes down, it's opened this up entirely towards the back of the side. Mindfreak is crispy. Lands that shot, knows what it lasts, but the reposition's there. Smoggy with the dash, and such a wide face is granted with a round win.
Immaculate play by Smoggy. Absolutely immaculate. He taps the spike to bait the push out of Devi, and then punishes immediately. This, by the way, after taking out Forsaken, who went in for just a bit too more. But look at this. He taps the spike to bait Devi in and then dashes away, re-swings onto Mindfreak and hits the shot. What a step up when his team needed it. What an incredible play.
Another heavy group up, one away from the Blade Storm. The AWP being the goal, but Trailblazer broken. There's no punish in sight. They've given Forsaken easy access to it, so he's got the knives online.
Here.
Everyone on EDG grouped up towards A here. Once more, these are the kind of setups that they were doing. And Devi's taken all of mid control.
Updraft, flash, over the top as well. Enemy AC 130 seeking for the target. Not going to be getting it. Has to dash away and disengage yet. Again, there's a refresher onto the knives and a fight. It's running and gunning. It's pure spray downs occurring. Straight towards ramp already. Heaven control has been given up.
Look at Devi. He already pushed down mid in the beginning of the round, and now he's already here.
Deep pushes on deep pushes. Devi got the backside of the angle. They've given up heaven control. They've got them exactly where they want them. He spots it out, and there's the first. Will he get a second? He will indeed. Wider with the face still. It's up to Smoggy. Chance to capitalize, and still double-faced with the stingers. They make light work of them. Thrifty win for PRX. And off the back of that, I mean, they just gave them so much space.
You won't see many teams play an anti-eco round by 5 stacking over towards A and not pushing quickly. I really don't know what's going through EDG's head when they make game plans like this, but PRX perfectly countering it. I mean, the space that Devi took in the round was instantaneous. And I know that EDG are still ahead, but they've also lost the last 3 out of the 4 rounds that they've played. And it looks like PRX have the read on how to punish this.
No info off the flash. Long ends up dodging it. This could pay dividends big time. Works himself up onto a closer angle. Forsaken. He's just aiming up close here to reposition as well. Yep, there it is. Not expecting that Howdong was already pushed up, but it is answered back as well from that attempt to take a bit of heaven control.
Where's CGRS going?
What are you doing here?
You have Trailblazer, man.
Trailblazer up close. No, he doesn't expect it. This player's right in front of him. They're stunned up with the stingers. They still claim the kill. Jing, he's going to be pushing, taking a timing of his own. Smoke up. Mindfreak, he needs help right here, and he needs it now. A bit of backup wouldn't go amiss. Where is his team? Close to the corner. Nobody. He's finding that one. Still Mindfreak dodging, juking. Util sent flying. Another Trailblazer being used, and another flank attempt. It's an absolute nightmare for the observers to be catching most of this one because there is action all over the bloody map. Snakebite denying that one plan. Will not get off in time. It's a 1v2 to Vi. Surely not to do it again. Finds the first, and Chichu's low enough that, again, it's a single bullet that will make its mark and win the round out.
30 seconds left.
Buys the time once more. Spike in the hands of Chichu. He knows that pressure is on them. The spike has not been planted, and it's beautiful movement. The slight jiggle from Chichu sets him up for the gun duel. Was favored there, so.
Nerves and pressure, Brent. Nerves and pressure. That, to me, is the big story of this game so far, because both teams playing their anti-eco rounds dreadfully. CGRS, though, I think you can give more leeway to, because he's not got a large tenure as a professional player and a lot of experience in big moments like this. But that play with the Trailblazer just opened the door for EDG after they were already set up nicely with the kill on the offer.
Hello, PRX. Oh, welcome to the party. It's Jing, the showstopper, immediately getting a kill. There's the reward. And seeking to answer back, it's Kang. No one's watching the smoke. Kang's just able to walk up onto it. So 4 versus 4, smoke's fading away. At the choke point, Devi thinks there might be something more towards this, so Spike was utilized to try and push them back. Out in the open, nobody's just swinging wide. There was nothing to try and block that gap as well. This entire game is devolving into chaos.
So many mistakes on either side. EDG are really struggling to slow the pace down, but Shishu just manages to squeak his way out. Yeah, nobody getting caught there because Shishu hadn't activated his Viper wall. It feels like exactly what the coach was talking about, getting drawn into that frantic pace. But right now, Haodong's found himself, sniffed himself out an opening. Does he call for the rotate, or is he trying to drag players over?
At this point, I mean, mate, there's 37 seconds left.
They could get to A.
If they really run.
I think that's what Haodong's telling them to do.
30 seconds
Going
left.
through sewers seems like a really risky decision for Kang to be making.
I'm really confused. I mean, Kang's going to be potentially playing as a late lurk while this comes through.
Haodong does not have backside. Yeah,
Haodong does not have backside control.
Things are getting messy over here.
Yeah, it's
and
falling to
PRX
pieces.
is capitalizing. It's crazy, Brent. It really is, because we're talking about this like EDG are fumbling the bag right now. They're still going to be up 6-5, but it's because they won those 4 rounds in a row early on. You know, taking away the advantage of the pistol, winning that thrifty round 2 and converting it into some momentum. Apart from that, they've looked shook. Apart from those 4 rounds, from round 2 to round 5, the game plan has just been a bit of a disaster for them. I suppose they want a thrifty in the midst of all of that too. But, my word, whoever comes out of this match will have scars.
Yeah, scrapes and bruises. I think what's on the line as well is PRX trying to drag it even here. Final round of this first half, the last chance for Pacific as well. The last representatives available, and they're not even up to full strength. Here's a Cosmic Divide though. Flashes, sent flying. Birds careening, Trailblazer leading the charge as well, carving up a portion of it. Here's an updraft. Now finally the dash. Sancho, he's super boosted up in the air, man! Smokey, he finds his 2. Jing also answered though initially. It's a 3v3, another dash online. Judge in his hand. Plan for a safe default position. They don't have control of any other area of the map. They're all playing towards the back of the site here. That's quite poor for EDG. They're going to have to make a play, I think, to try and offset that. Smoked across. Trailblazer clears through. Still worried about a potential of that late lurk as well, but now you start to see it. The time to strike is nigh. PRX. Flash round the side. CGRS with no more util available. That's a Judge up close, though, and he's handed over a gun, I believe. Spray transfers, CGRS pulling out miracles for them. And he's dragged it even, 6-6. This guy, not much of a tenure as a pro player, Josh. Bit of a Gecko one trick, some might say, on top of it, but God, he stepped up in that moment right there.
He'll be so happy about that performance. Ridiculous situation to find himself in. So both CGRS and Devi managing to win essentially 1v3s, although a bit of a distraction play there from Forsaken. He looks like he can't believe what he's done.
Score, that's 6-6.
I've got to echo the sentiment. I'd love this to go to map 3, but that is all in these players' hands. I feel like the pressure really is on EDG. And I would agree with you, Intu. They do look a little stressed in terms of how they play, and potentially how they are on the stage too.
There's a dog lay claim to an area of the map here towards Heaven. Already a dash forwards. That's a stun caught into the side. Smoggy, smoke to dissipate as well to try and evade capture, but no, it's Forsaken once more. 2 kills for him in the round. Exchange the weaponry, pick up a gun, a bit of an upgrade for CGRS and an attempt to punish through the smoke. Jing just pushing right into their spawn. I mean, listen, it's boundless. The level of energy that PRX have got coming into this game, not a care in the world. They want to go for it again. Fully healed up. CGRS right behind him, and yep, one way to build themselves up.
So now you've just got to make sure that you actually convert after you win the pistol, all right? Because that started a piece of momentum for EDG that made the first half very dangerous. But this team looks so loose in a good way with how they're playing. They're cooking up the little micro plays, even with CGRS in there, and Forsaken stepping up massively on the pistol round. Talked about that being a win condition prior.
Here.
And Kankan's gone missing a little. He will have to wake up for EDG to be able to pull through. He's got to be Mr. Consistent, as he usually is.
4 players stacked up. Will PRX slow it down? Not likely. They're on their way in. Potential. There was always danger in it, but Forsaken, oh, he cleans it up. Teammates at his back. Following up with a crossfire. Exchange of it as well, having a foresight to build up the ultimates.
So now Forsaken just needs one more or a death, and he's got his Blade Storm online for potentially an all-important bonus round. These kind of situations must feel so rough for the EDG players, for Kankan.
No gaps in the play.
They've just let a massive lead fall away from them on Fracture, and now they're struggling to keep pace in the second map. They'll have been hoping that they never even got to this point, obviously, where they're a map down. But even so, as Yinsu was talking about earlier, EDG, they haven't lost on Split since 2021. I mean, they have just been superb on this map when they've played it. Not that they have much recently. And the pressure is really on them right now, which is a bizarre thing to say, because coming into this tournament, there were no expectations for this squad.
No, it was quite freeing in terms of the play of EDG.
And a technical pause just to turn their heat up a little more. Give them some time to think and stew.
Let them simmer on the stage. All right, though. I mean, you could argue as well, this is one of the only circumstances we found ourselves in Masters Tokyo where Edward Gaming, EDG, are going up against a team, and you might say that they're the favorites going up against them. I mean, PRX playing with a sub here. Expectations, they're off this team, you know? I mean, PRX would love to be this stalwart defender, the last bastion for Pacific, and make a deep run of it, but they're playing like they've got no illusions of the circumstances they're in. They know their roster's not up to full strength, and they're just throwing anything to the wall, but it's working.
And to me, one of the biggest players that you have to give credit to, I think, you know, there's obvious names like Jing, who's been probably their most impactful player at this event. But I'm looking at Forsaken most of the time, because I think he's the real X factor as to whether or not PRX have major pop-off performances. He's been forced to go back to the duelist, and it's a role that he's said he finds himself a little brain dead when he plays it sometimes. He finds it difficult to use his brain whilst also playing duelist. He just goes into autopilot, and he runs around the map and ends up dying. And that's been part of the shift that Forsaken's really enjoyed recently, is picking up more of a flex role and calling a little more too. Well, back on the duelist, there are just so many rounds here where Forsaken is turning the tide for his team. We saw it on Fracture with his Neon, and now we're seeing it again here playing Jet.
It's all coming together for this team. Just getting a sneak peek as well over towards the stage. I was like, who's having these problems then as well? I saw one of the players restarting their client. So hopefully going to be getting back into the action momentarily.
I'm going to be loading back in here, and just to set the scene, this is the bonus round for PRX. They won the pistol. They made sure that it didn't drop away from them. And now they're heading in here with Forsaken's Blade Storm active. So there's definitely opportunities for PRX to be able to convert on this one. It's more dangerous than it might first appear.
All from those ult orbs that were earned prior. Waited out towards the beginning. Couple of seconds. let the round settle a little bit before you rush into anything, but they've already grouped up towards B main. There's going to be a flash and a dash play. It's active. There it is, forwards. Disrespect being showcased, but, well, with the updraft pathing, Haodong, he knows where to spray it forwards. He's pushed all the way up deep as well, looking for the counter spam. He's got his team to hold it down. Alongside him with the rifle spam.
Haodong bloomed a flash there that caught the smoke, and then backed up and anticipated Forsaken's pathing perfectly.
Left to salvage the roundup, but unaware of really the positioning. Kang, he's turning up.
Remaining.
That is going to get the confidence flowing.
We've been talking about how important that was. Kang being that big game player for them.
Every game player for them.
Exactly. And we've got to see the signs of life. Getting that confidence back so damn important. Here he is. Wants to find the kill onto Mindfreak. Well, denied. Crouch peek though at the off angle. Smoggy seeking to collect. So, bonus round was denied. Gives a chance for EDG to now maybe start to get something more going for them.
Another point though, as to Kang's confidence levels, it's not just about how he's feeling, but also the economy state. Because like I was talking about earlier, they op about 46% of the time on defense in Kang. That's a huge amount, almost half the rounds. That's like between 5 and 6 rounds average on defense. Unless they can get the economy grown here, they're not even going to get chances to do that.
PRX again going for the satchel play. It's cute, straight up towards Ram. With a pull on top of it, stuns as well. Nade using to counteract all that aggression. Lovely punish from EDG.
Very good. Bucket loads of defensive utility there to stop PRX from taking a ramp control. And that's the 2 heads of the snake chopped straight off. I was going to say double-tipped spear, but I'm not really sure what that would be. I was trying to visualize the weapon that don't know, that doesn't make too sense.
At some point in
it's
time.
like a pitchfork, though,
yeah.
isn't it? That doesn't strike too much fear into people coming at them with a pitchfork. It would me.
If you know your French history, Josh, you might not be saying that, but...
I mean, if the French were coming at me with pitchforks, I'd know I'd done something wrong.
What era are we talking about here? I'm not going to get into a history lesson. I'm making a fool of myself.
This is a tough round for PRX to try and turn. Usually it's Forsaken and Jing that are the playmakers in these kind of situations.
Yeah, it's just contact plays, hoping that somebody will open themselves up for an easy
30
kill.
seconds left.
Kang in mid, grouped up. There is that lurk timing here from Mindfreak, so he's evaded that sight line, and well, he has gotten past Kang. Does he seek to clear it? No.
Wow.
So Mindfreak,
But there's only 15 seconds.
In. Yeah, do they really still want to make a play here? I think they need a pick to do anything. This is just...
What a weird safe
10
position.
seconds left.
It's absurd, isn't it? Yeah, I mean... Okay, cleared hard. Oh, hoping to take the rifle out from Devi. Up, down, up, down.
That's not going to make too much of a difference, though. Kang dying there, to me, I think that's even more incentive for him to just pick up an operator that one of his teammates drops. They've definitely got the potential for that if they want to go for it. See what they go with. It would be a little strange, obviously, to have your Raze op on defense, but it's Kang. Although it doesn't look like it for the moment. He's happy to just sit on the rifle. He's got the showstopper to play around here, too. And of course, with EDG, something we haven't mentioned that's really different on their defense side, they have Chishu hard anchor A, which is not how Vipers usually play these setups. The Vipers normally in mid.
Open himself up, though. There's an aim duel that Kang is happy to take. He's already found the first one. Dog stun connecting. Forsaken, they are trying to leap right onto him. Bolts offloaded, rocket to the side. Body splattered against the wall. EDG, they found the footing. The confidence is back in spades.
And the disrespect, too, to follow. This is what you gotta see for EDG to win. They need Kang to be putting up performances.
Enemy remaining.
High ground position. That is just fantastic. Precision.
Flawless,
Smoggy.
you might say.
Yeah. Beautiful stuff. And now, getting back that lead. It was looking quite dire. We think back as well to that first half, the way that ended up essentially spiraling out of control, and they lost that heavy, heavy lead that EDG were able to get. This is an important beginning.
Definitely is.
They don't falter after losing the pistol rounds. They have rallied all the way back here. So finding a lead, forcing PRX into a timeout.
And so far, PRX fighting over A ramp control is not working. EDG are just playing tucked behind their Viper wall and then popping back out into them. So PRX need to find a different area of the map. If they want to take a piece of map control early on, which is what both of these teams are going to be fighting over, then they need to pick a specific spot that they think they can have an advantage in. For me, Brand, that would be mid. I know that Kankan just took the fight there and was able to win it in a prior round, or in that round, in fact. But that would be my area to go towards if I'm PRX, because Chishu's not putting the orb there, Haodong's not got a star there. At worst, you're taking straight up aim units. And at best, there's not really going to be too much resistance.
They divert their attention over towards that particular area of the map. I mean, as you said, Josh, you know, it seems kind of obvious to us. We're seeing the big global picture.
For
What's
sure.
been occurring, but for now, Spike trending back towards A. Big split up towards the map here. No real semblance towards mid. Flash connects. Bit of information gathered. Looks like a bit of early utility as well pumped into B to try and force rotations and an immediate, fast wraparound to regroup over towards A.
With how fast PRX usually are on their execs, they're a really quick team. EDG are pretty confident that utility means they're going B. And this is where PRX look really nice, changing the pace up. They'll throw fast round after fast round and then hit you with this, a bit of a bait.
Yeah, slower beginning. Dog forwards, baits out that nade. Kankan repositions close to the choke point. Flash does not connect. They want to take up control of A heaven. Bit of a lurk. Smoke's eventually fading, so close it up for them to try and get themselves into these positions. They've all crossed, but there is awareness for EDG. You can see that in the way that Haodong's playing his positioning. Tucked at a very slight off angle. He's seeking to, again, contain his aggression. He's aware of it, and he's isolated 2 of the fights, make it 3! This IGL for EDG has been absolutely phenomenal. In terms of the reads, his individual play, the sole difference maker in so many rounds.
It's like a weaponry graveyard over there, isn't it? With the spike on top to boot. You're so right. Haodong's got a great understanding of where PRX like to push around the map. He's not even holding the main angle there on the door. He's holding an off angle for if they decide to go A heaven to B, which, how many teams in the world do that? PRX are about, I don't know, one of a handful, a very small handful of teams. But PRX do actually try those kind of plays fairly often. And here's where you see the advantage of holding off angles against a team that likes to contact. You know, you don't always have to just pick up an operator to punish contacting teams. You can hold these off angles where they're just going to be unable to check it or clear it with utility properly. You're not going to get punished as much. So that knocks down the economy onto a bit of a half buy, though there's still 2 rifles here. CGRS and Divide could be difficult.
Here.
No players in sight from the deep flash. Here's a boombot. It is the half buy. I feel like still that danger with PRX. Stun. Here's a dash on top of the box. Nobody spamming. Position is forced. Here's a stinger fight. Won it out, but spam through the new box. Easy enough. Angle. Nobody. It's granted and gifted it. Still, it's come down to a 2 versus 2. In the midst of all of that, Divide with a late lurk through B main, I believe. Here's a Cosmic Divide also online. This is going to make it quite difficult to get through now if you are EDG, but the spike's still not planted.
Kankan's looking for a lurk in mid here. Thought he was going to use the nade to try and deny something like that from happening. They could have heard the plan going down.
Giving them easy access to heaven, dropping down. It's a high-low. She's holding that util, snake bite, careening across, knows it, isolates it. There's a fight there from Kankan, wide swing, but Chishu brings down his opposition. He's left to the 1v1. Mind Freak. There's no swing in sight. Time running so damn low here. Chishu just chooses to contact all the way round. It's PRX who seal it up with Mind Freak at the forefront of all of it.
Another thrifty in this series. So many of them scattered throughout the match. And there's one that completely halts the bad string of rounds that PRX were allowed, or allowing rather,
Player
to
standing.
get against them.
Enemy.
PRX managing to combo a play there. Just a very simple B split where Forsaken's bait and they just get in hyper aggressively.
There's an op online though. Kang seeking to offset the balance as well from that round that was just gained up close. Double satchel, cuts his way across, he's not allowed a clean fight. Spam to try and cover. And Kang did reposition the satchel movement in mid, that's being explored, and Divide, he's taken out early. EDG, what a thing to throw into the mix, but well, Kang just opened himself up a little bit too wide there, onto the heaven angle. Forsaken gets it, and now there's a rocket in his hands, laid down. And that covering fire, explosives towards elbow, fight taken up close again. It's being traded out still, it's all up to nobody, and he's been swung right into. 1 versus 1. CGRS versus nobody. 6 bullets. Reload up top. Dog still available. This reposition is everything. CGRS. No way, man. No way at all. Another tap. Baits it. Yep. That's it. Nobody. That is sublime.
How has he got the read on that? That is such an intelligent play there. He's just shooting 1 bullet at a time to try and bait the fact that he's dropped out through heaven. So from CGRS's point of view, that completely sells it.
One enemy.
Nobody is such a swingy player. He plays alone a lot, he plays to take hard fights often, and he will deliver magic occasionally. That round looked like it was gonna spiral out of control, completely out of their hands. We've been treated to some heroics in this match.
EDG not willing to let the Cinderella story slip away. How far can they take it? Well, for now, setting the sight lines on closing out this map and bringing it to map number 3, but it's Forsaken again with the knives. Don't want to count this guy out. Again, such a similar play from PRX. The dog leading the charge, clearing all these corners. Smoke as well. Smoky wants to take the timing out of it. He was eager, potentially there to try and take that fight, but wide out in the open. CGRS was just holding out the util towards the back. Howdong in and out of the smoke. Smoky still alive here. Spike was dropped down, claims the kill on the rope. It's all up to Mind Freak. In a 1v4, Kang with the op, of course he's on it. On point. And now, Josh, we find ourselves at a precipice again. This time EDG to take away map number 2, 1 more round, that's all they need.
Here's Smoggy finding that time in the big gap in the spacing between CGRS and the duelists. And they just trusted the smoke a little too much. Smoggy making the huge play up at the top of the scoreboard, really the difference maker for EDG, buying time for Kang to come back online. You're right, EDG are only 1 step away, 1 round from being able to drag us to Lotus. And yet, I still feel like PRX might be able to grab 3 in a row here. We've seen so many times these teams go on mad streaks, including, obviously, the 7 rounds in a row or whatever it was on Fracture. 8 rounds in a row even.
Mantle of responsibility is going to be settling on Kang's shoulders. He's the sole player on this A site. With the smoke up, he thinks that the player could have crossed up into heaven. Trailblazer around the back, clears through most of it. Satchel taking up ramp, updraft, dash play. All over the place, Kang. He's not certain as to where these players may have landed, because that's up top into heaven as well. It's again an attempt to converge and collide themselves into it. A jump spot to bait out these shots, dropping down as well. They need to punish Kang. Kang is swinging wide into him, layering it down these shots. Chichu with the rifle still sprays it through, but ran out of bullets in the end. Enough to claim 2 of these kills. Knives backs away. Smoggy, he's low. 35 health. The Viper's Pit is there in their hands. It could still be winnable, but no. Taken out. The pit falls. Mind Freak left to do the most, and he cannot do it. 13-9 will be that scoreline. EDG.
Right, like we probably should have picked defense first. That's our favorite side. So now we get to see it. They will guaranteed play 12 rounds of this defensive half. Let's see how good it looks.
I will say as well, you know, based on the mirror matchup, Fnatic's particular comp, when they do play against, you know, the Cypher-based solo controller on Lotus, does tend to be a bit more favored than this. This is the potential for a bit more of an up-front fight.
Yeah, I would agree. The addition of the Prowlers in that Fade composition.
And they ruin your trip setups.
They do. Now this is a setup with 3 players from PRX looking to play a trap off the cam contact.
Yeah, there it is. Flash play over Mound. It's a hard kill to claim, though. Already Goop in the face. Chichu is feeling the heat, feeling the Pressure on that one. Nade at his heels. Brings him down early enough. An attempt from Howdong to try and lurk himself into B to gain some ground. Forces out the paranoia, and there's a bit of a wraparound with the door opening. Mad dash over towards the A side. It's going to be some trips meeting them and waiting for them. Breaking the first layer of it. As soon as it's broken, Cage up. Buys even more space. What can Forsaken do with it? Dog claiming the one inside the smoke. This way, that way. Forsaken still alive and still in the action. Right in the thick of things. Going for the jumping right click, but he's brought down to his knees on top of it. Tree control going to be there as Mindfreak towards the back of the site. The Dizzy is good. Kangan could not see anything. Yet the Dog still doing the most. Colliding, collapsing. That's PRX taking the site before this plant even really gets going and gets started.
So we'll ignore the fact that Kankan got a kill blinded there and just talk about what PRX did really well. Love the play. I mean, they have not had long to try and integrate the Gecko into this team, into this lineup. They've just shifted around the Jet, they've kicked the Jet out, and they've put the Gecko in. So that's allowed them to do these double flash trap plays off cam contact, and then they have Mindfreak Paranoia to clear out B. They know that everything's going to end A. Big rush, flood retake, all looks lovely.
There's a bit of a battle that's going to take place, isn't it? Disrespect being shown all the way through into A main. Flashes exchange. Mindfreak fully blinded up. Cannot see anything. Dizzy around the side. Kang. There's a chance for him to try and capitalize in the midst of all of it, but too much chaos and too much to overcome. Chichu lurks himself into the angle, but spotted out in the blink of an eye. It's over.
That's something to keep an eye on later on in the half. Shishu getting very, very deep there on his attack-sided lurk, but otherwise PRX just going for their classic rubble control with a massive economical advantage. So EDG have tried to default towards C and run into a trap, and then tried to go over towards A. They got hit with the off-the-rip A rubble control. Now PRX, for the bonus round, their main force is towards B, where it looks like they're going to contact Paranoia push.
Shadows traveling.
And there it is, Paranoia held in the hands of Mindfreak, just waiting for the right timing.
There's traps everywhere.
Let this one loose, yep. Certainly is. Boombot used by Smoggy to clear a path. Spam onto the corner. It's exactly where Jing was holding, but he held his ground. Here's a nade rebounding off to the side. A little bit too wide with that one. Doesn't catch the close corner. Nobody looking to try and fight back here. Pop flash play, but the play is caught. Already backed away for PRX.
Good control of that kind of area. And now Kankang's looking to break Cypher utility. Usually you'll see Kankang play over towards A. He likes to use his smokes to lurk up, maybe push stairs, that kind of thing. But you will see him jet lurk on this map. Seems weird, but they have Smoggy at the tip of the sphere.
Spike's still not picked up here on the attack side. Looks like they want to try and make their moves up towards B. Little door broken. Devi holding close though inside the pit. It's an off angle. Here's the reload. Seeking to strike in between the timings of it.
30 seconds.
Put down though. Shut down. Nobody. And Howdong still here. Top of the map. Falling asleep at the wheel a little bit. Dizzy in his face. He's fully blinded up there. A satchel will do the job for him. Stun over the top. Wingman is a full collapse and collide of the utility. Yet the guns are what reigns supreme in this round. Damage being done. Cam over the top. Forsaken. He's inside of it. Still a fight to be found, but eventually traded.
A lot of map control there for EDG, allowing them to go for that B pivot. Things getting a little scrappy, but mostly EDG onto angles early where they can fight favorably. The economy's not going to be great though. That was a fairly expensive situation for them. And you can see how much value the Gecko gets in terms of applying pressure. If PRX want to flood. So take a look at the economy here. Double Guardian out for EDG. Doesn't look great.
Again, another collapse and collide over towards A. Nobody's already pushed up past the smoke, and he's close up onto the angle. Here's the TP. Can't get the kill though. Mindfreak gets the better of him. Forsaken with the Odin meanwhile as well. He was miles away, and this is still this brawl. An engagement that's yet to be taken, but they're covering the backside angle where Howdong, he did TP a little bit prior.
Shishu, the only one left standing. And the attacking protocols for dealing with this A rubble control look sloppy from EDG. They're not coordinated, nobody way too far ahead. And Howdong late So committed too.
You really just can't disrespect the amount of utility that they throw at the beginning. Not with a mosh pit and a nade.
Spike
No,
here.
I mean, the mosh pit in particular is so large that anybody trying to get up where nobody, you know, to help nobody, anyone in that spot is going to get massacred.
Yeah, you just have to wait out of time.
Chishu's best goal here is just to try and hold on to the weaponry.
30
Might be able
seconds
to
left.
force up something around it.
Bullet sent flying. But yeah, just needs to hold on to the gun.
I
Force
don't
the
think they'll
save
let
out.
him. I mean, look, the net looks like it's tightening already.
Approaching and closing.
On my wire.
The shoulder spotted, Dizzy onto the angle. There's a spam through the box. Found the target, acquired, and no rifle to be taken into the next. So 3-1, PRX. Great lead for them.
They say you lose, you learn. And I need to see EDG learning not to try and contest a rubble at the beginning of the round. Because the way in which they're playing it, it's just not coordinated enough to deal with what PRX are throwing at you.
Yeah.
And you can always retake that area of the map later on.
I think that's the best way to do it, to be honest. You let the defensive side, when they play aggressive, you let them throw their util away and you clear it a little bit later. It's typically the favored way that attackers will try to refight. It's a similar approach though. Mindfreak just holding the paranoia. I think if the orb being picked up, I imagine, but okay, Trailblazer broken from quite far back. Giving them control towards B, already all the players backing away, and here it is, the later take towards a rubble.
I like this setup. You got to remember that EDG's weaponry is not great for this round. They need a Kankan pop-off. And this is the kind of round where you might anticipate him going aggressive onto Jing, onto stairs. But no, looks like a classic B end.
And here it is, tempo increase, paranoia right up in his face. Jing with the rocket, he lands it, there it is. Attempts to transfer with the spray, but only the one kill found, and still Kankang alive and kicking towards heaven. Brought it down to the 1 versus 1 as CGRS in a comfortable position to close that one out. As scrappy as it got.
And Kankan did what he could with the Blade Storm, found a kill, picked up a rifle, made it winnable for the team. But PRX stayed in control. A great start for them on the defensive side.
Our spike carrier is killed.
Spike down.
Even these rounds are going to be a little difficult though. And this one comes down to a 1v1. Chishu could have played that with a little more patience. It definitely feels still frantic from EDG. But it was going to be a tough one for him to win anyway, so no major harm done. EDG, though, are going to start this off with C control, mount control, and it's the same play. It's the same trap setup that we saw in the pistol round, but now with even more utility available.
Kankang with an op, though, is playing, I believe, an anti-flash position. And he's got a deep sight line on that choke point. Here it is. As soon as it's used, flash position, there is the anti. Thresh popped off, detainment on the one side, Kankang. He has to try and push back this aggression. It's a cam in their face, Dizzy over the top as well. They couldn't quite claim that kill. Can they salvage it though? Damage. Definitely done in exchange as the bullets rain past.
It's almost brutish, though, the way that EDG trigger out that trap play and just try and deal with it instead of baiting it out and falling back. Settles into a 4v4 scenario.
Scout destroyed.
Oh, the Trailblazer broken there right before it got to either of the trips. Forsaken defending his territory.
Look at how brutal the Odin is as well in scenarios like this. I mean, spam onto the corners. Look at the draw with that. Earl Third going to be giving a lot of very good information now. In case it wasn't obvious enough here, Mindfreak's going to be able to hear all these footsteps. Now he sees them all lit up. Still pulls out util. Expecting the second player for whatever reason, but cleared up and cleaned up, down to nobody. It's a 1v3. Wingman going right past. He's not doing the job adequately enough, is he? It's
10 seconds
created a
left.
bit of a timing, but not a lot of time on the clock here. 7 seconds remaining. Plant now has to be stuck. Forsaken realizes it, faces it, and he's won the round for his team just off of that.
Good stuff. Nobody getting the spike down as well for those extra credits. But having said that, disastrous for EDG.
What? It's really, really brutal to work through, and EDG left really scattered and looking for answers in this timeout here. 5-1 is the scoreline when it comes to the rounds. Got to find a way back into this one.
it's a tough spot for EDG because on one hand, you say to yourself, well, they're massively behind right now. This is really devastating for them. On the other, you think, well, PRX's attack looked like it had nothing behind it. They got 12-0'd by Fnatic. Maybe they can make any level of comeback. But I think at that point, the mental might have done its dirty work. Because EDG are a team without too much experience. They've been going on a great run right now, but prior to this, they had no match victories at a global event. So this is new territory for them.
Paving the way, seeing how far they can really go. It would be a testament to it. I mean, EDG have managed comebacks in the past, at least at Masters Tokyo. They brought maps close. They have been able to rally back. Here we go, an attempt though into the C side. Now let's see what happens here. As I was saying prior, Forsaken with the Odin. If he's not cleared out of this spot, he is going to rip them to shreds. The cap still not dealt with. Onto the corner, spams it out with the corner. Him and Divide playing together with the trips, lighting up these players. There it is, an attempt to try and get the plant off. And all it takes is a few more bullets to get the job done here. Kang eventually taking the fight right to them. Pushing through past the smoke into their spawn now. So duelist players. A lot to do here, but not anticipating that our angle was already gained and his mind freak from the high position. Heaven locking it down, shutting it down. No danger.
EDG just falling into every trap that PRX have littered around the map for them. We've seen PRX getting value out of the flash plays, the tripwires, everything. And now Forsaken with his Odin. The Odin is so good, it melts even through the rock that you would expect to provide a safe plant position for you. No, you're not allowed to plant there. Very difficult to find a safe place to play.
Yeah,
but EDG have rifles now. No ults, apart from the Blade Storm, which just equalizes the economy a little. But they do have weaponry. Oh, I'm worried though, Brent, because this looks like they're just going to opt into the A fight again.
It's another skirmish over towards A rubble. If what we've seen before, EDG should not be favoured. They're not going to wait out this util, are they? Here it is. They just want to take the fight to them. TP across over towards the side. Kang fully blinded up. Paranoid this way and that way. It's just running straight into the smoke. Disrespect showcased. CGRS removing him. Just giving a hop over towards that high ground angle. Wingman and the Boombot being used in conjunction. Lurk timing here for Chichu. Bullet to the head, right through the wall, sets him up for the kill onto Forsaken, and now he's lurked himself into a 4 position. Maybe he can make something of this.
They know that they control a lot of the map. Nobody is going to get Seekers online with the plant here. So they could make some kind of play off that. In a player disadvantaged position like this, though, the Seekers may end up giving away the specific spots that EDG are playing in. They're going to have to use them early.
Here it is. Off the rip as soon as they're earned.
Oh,
One of the Seekers is going main to mount. That's going to be giving false information.
Unlucky.
How has that worked out? Maybe towards that rotating door, the wide face, wide swing adjustments necessary with the aim, and nobody. He's found 3 in a round, 2 off the back of that. 8 HP though. Backs away. Trailblazer still available for him, but does he want to give away his positioning? CGRS hot on the trail. Looking for the kill, seeking it out. Spam onto the corner here. It's all about the timing. And how does this fight get taken? Nobody can hear it. Tap onto it, finds it and isolates it. 4 kills for nobody. And he earns them a round, a necessary one at that.
We know what we're doing.
In the first 20 seconds, it looked like EDG had tossed that away. An eco swing round where they opt into the A rubble disaster. And yet, it's nobody that gets the kills, it's Chishu that actually opens up the map. His lurk onto Forsaken opens up that pivot towards C and allows nobody to finish things. Working in tandem to pull that back from the brink. Provide a lifeline. Kang, attack operator, over towards A.
Seeking to do some damage here, but PRX not willing to give away. Control of Mound towards C. The early line of side angle grabbed up with the dog to supplement.
And the areas of the map that you lose early on, EDG need to be saving the Trailblazer or something like that in order to re-clear. And at the moment, nobody's the furthest player ahead on A with Spike in hand.
Deep cam on rubble.
Taken out.
Yeah, it spots at least 2 of the players there, so Forsaken's going to get the read. The A main is compromised. Ops on ops, really, set up on either side.
They just aren't pushing Devi off this angle.
Oh, Devi. Oh my! Reactions. Swift with it. Kang seeks to equalize and answer back. He's dashed in with the operator, wants to lead the charge with his team. Not scared, is he? Forsaken, though. Ring around the rosy, he's tripping his face, yet doesn't have the weapon for the job, really. He ends up falling.
What is happening here?
Yeah, it's a little bit insane. Kangkang's already up into heaven. Device just out-opted him. Words I never thought I'd be uttering, but here we are. Needing a flash to maybe set up another angle forwards, but already all the positions in the post plant being shorn away here from the EDG players. They've got to try and hold on to at least some semblance of it. Spam into the cage. You've got to know the tree is compromised. It is. It's traded. Nobody answered. But the kill is going one for another. Chichu holding onto the high ground angle here. Tap onto the spike. He has no way to push them off of this. Devi can stick it to half. Silently dropping down. There's no way at all to win the round. So PRX is winning by default.
EDG are getting very desperate. Despite all players falling for PRX there, the game plan was madness. And Haodong's gone from having a perfect understanding of the game, looking like he's positioned immaculately in top fragging, to be in 1 and 9 as his team scrambles. I mean, Kangkang's up there with an operator entering though. You know, it makes no sense right from the beginning. And they're not using the Sky utility to re-clear. I feel like the game plan's gone to pot. The pressure has got to EDG.
Wow, my eyes are down.
Dragged into the pandemonium that PRX love to create.
And isn't that a common statement whenever we talk about PRX?
Always the danger. Always the danger. Pure disrespect. Pushed up close here. Seeker's now, again, paving the way onto the side. Paranoia is exchanged on either side here. Mindfreak seeking to at least still hold on to control of this double door, but yeah, Smoggy from the side around the back. This is Forsaken now. Guardian in hand. Showstopper. Misses. Damage being done here onto the high ground angle. Neurotheft given a bit of space and still needing to find a few more of these kills. It's all over the place. Spray transfer. Judge in his face. Jing is brought down. CGRS. It's the only one left in a 1v3.
And EDG proving in this round that they can lean into the chaos as well.
Yeah, that's a 0.25 jobber.
That is a ridiculous round. Smoggy picking up 3 with the judge.
Yeah.
And holding heaven now too.
Try and break that one down. I dare you. Well, tag with the camp. Know where CGRS is. Player weak for Smoggy holding close to the judge. CGRS not with enough money to buy into the next one. The save is the only play really to make. Smoggy.
Smoggy's got a judge. His peaks aren't really that dangerous.
He's picked up the rifle though now and starting to vacate and get out of there.
But I'll tell you what, a great adjustment from EDG in terms of finding one specific spot on the map that they felt like they could abuse. And that was in tree. They blast pack Smoggy around as they put pressure on the other side, opening the door, something like that. And here it is. The pressure on Mindfreak. This is where PRX have been anchoring a player towards A lot. And so, after multiple failed attempts towards this side of the map, they came up with a creative plan to try and punish it. It looked very desperate the previous round. And yet, maybe just a learning moment. There is still a chance for EDG to recover this half. Although, it would rely on them getting the last 2. And even then,
we'll see though. This round coming up, PRX, the economy is taking a bit of a tumble, so got an advantage to EDG.
One of the things I really liked that EDG were doing previously that I haven't seen too much is Kangkang being able to establish himself over towards A and get this like lurking jet working on that side of the map.
There's an attempt to swing with a dizzy. Mindfreak will pay for it, so they give up first section of A. Normal control changing hands.
And this is one of the first times where they've actually used the Trailblazer to re-clear a contested area of the map and post Kangkang up. This round, of course, they have massive gun advantage too.
Information gathered. Surrounded, but they got a note of Forsaken's alone on this side. Paranoia through. Some danger in it, but instead they decide to take their sights over towards B. Up into heaven, they can hear the footsteps. CGRS, he had the rifle, didn't he? Yeah, not going to be having that one. Moving it away, Satchel to set up the fight. Jing was able to retrieve the rifle, does claim that kill. Another fight to be taken on the flank. Forsaken doesn't want to opt into it, still fighting for the extremities and the connector control. Haodong, he wins his out. Jing only 61 health. How much can he really do? The answer, not quite a lot. Forsaken, spotted out, brought down, 7-4. One more round for EDG. This has been brought back, honestly. It was a string of rounds early on by PRX, as you can see on the timeline below, but EDG are on the verge of really making the most of it.
And Coach Alex calling one of their timeouts just for the final round of the half.
Out being taken for this last round, you can see just how important it is. But yeah, Pacific versus China here in this matchup. Elimination game, map 3. It's all on the line for the continuation of their tournament lives here at Masters Tokyo. Let's see the beginning. Odin spam onto this corner. Does a lot to try and push back some of that early A aggression. Kang with the up, the shot just going wide.
He knows there's a cam around here. He's trying to bait it out.
Pushed all the way up. A lot of disrespect shown. Here's a fight to be taken. CGRS is alone when this is happening. Paranoia. Someone on his back. One of the teammates, at least Jing, trying to help him out. Nate could be used to try and push them back in a way. It looks like it was.
And the cam was broken too. So EDG may well have accomplished their goals over towards Mound. With the cam broken, now Forsaken's going to call for help. Forsaken and Jing defending C. They need to push these A players away. It's been so important for EDG.
I think the overall game plan here by EDG was good in this round with the calling, like you said, Josh. Took out the cam, but the Trailblazer, there was nothing else behind that. It was broken before they could even get into position. And now the Paranoia gets let rip just off the back of that one flash, pushes away any sense of aggression and taking back that space.
But the flash and the Paranoia being used means that EDG know there's 2 players there.
Whoa, it's getting strained. It's getting dangerous here. Crossfire set up towards Heaven and the connector. It's a B plant. Not shying away from it now. Door starting to get rotated and maybe played towards as well. Kang low enough here, holding all these angles. CGRS definitely weak enough on top of it. They've left, given up control of main. Jing wins his fight out towards the connector. It's brought the ult back online. Do they know that the players are in Heaven? They do indeed. Savai claims that kill out in the open. Where is Haodong left remaining? It's Wingman with the defuse, sticking it through. That's 8-4 in the half of PRX.
Awesome half from them, causing chaos and injecting it straight into the EDG game plan. EDG, their bread and butter, has been trying to control aggression from other teams, and yet PRX are making it far too difficult. This version of EDG looks so much more scattered, uncoordinated, and sloppy compared to what we've seen from them in the past. But I don't think it's all just nerves. It's not all just the moment. It's forced pressure from
Shooting it, you know, the last chance for the Pacific region as their representatives of PRX, and also for EDG. You know, they've gone from strength to strength, all their goals being met throughout this event. The first win for China, the top 8 finish.
And for PRX, they now just have to avoid getting dominated on their attack side. They lost 12 rounds out of 12 to Fnatic, but EDG are not Fnatic. EDG are not the defending winners of the most recent global tournament.
It's still already being expended here. There's a Paranoia in the hands of Haodong. Wingman going for the plant, wide out into the open. Kang flash in his face, can't seem to deny it. Still wants to take the fight though, Devai is happy for it. With the ghost in his hands, should be set up for the win, but that timing is just so damn unfortunate. Inside the smokes, and everybody's grouped up towards Tree. 3 players left there, dizzy in their faces, flashes, everybody blind, running and gunning with the frenzy, reloading the clip, and right behind you. Jing did not hear it, the rotation of the door, not expecting it.
Just getting lost in the chaos there. And EDG pick up a pistol that may end up being absolutely pivotal. Keep an eye on the potential for a comeback happening here. With the pistol, this should be going back up to 8-6. We've seen some shenanigans though. But PRX have got to fix their issues that cropped up last time they played this map.
Yeah.
And definitely the Gecko is better on the defense side. I think it's undeniable. The Jet just gives you, even just by using the Cloudburst, gives you so much more ability to take map control, even than another Initiator. So, this is an opportunity now for EDG to start that snowball. Get some ults rolling.
What's the approach for PRX on the weaker buy? Early control towards B.
EDG have 4 players here.
Yeah, just farming up and picking up the orbs. I mean, this is a real overcommitment, no?
I mean, it was right from the beginning of the round. It wasn't even based, as far as I can tell, on the ult orb being acquired.
Happy to give up the Seaside almost entirely here, just using the Cypher util to try and play for it. Uh-oh. Doors open, stun to connect. Forsaken getting in his cam in the middle of that when he was being really pressured by multiple players, but they have given up the site because of it, so will it mean a plan? Timing through the smoke. Jing, he's cleaned up, traded. Grabbing the one, not able to get that gun back for his team, but it will mean that, again, site is theirs, plant down, nade towards the back. CGRS falling low, but not actually going down here. Dizzy exchange with the paranoia close with the dash. Bit of a team flash, nobody can't see where he's going here, yet still they have the weaponry and they sail through the treacherous waters.
Chip damage done, but nothing too much further. Any ults looking close to being online? None that are that impactful. Can't really build a game plan around the Omen ult too much. So PRX may have dodged a little bit of a bullet there. In terms of big ults that you can make a game plan around, that's Jing. Up towards 17 kills, a bunch in this half. And they can use that to try and take... normally used as like a burst into a C site or something of that ilk. Looking at the EDG defensive setups, they're so happy just to stack players, going for a hard read. I mean, usually the Raze ult is going to be used to try and entry into C.
They switch up the setup.
They've instantly left.
Yeah,
I mean, one flash over towards C, no audio cues. And they're already looking to gamble the other side of the map.
And PRX do play like this on their attack side. A lot of 4-1 splits, heavy group up plays. Paranoia now ripped its way through. Kang caught out here, holding a close angle. Needs to try and land those shots with a rocket at his feet. They'll do enough to do the damage, and Jing still is not content with it. Dropping down into the side, it's nobody who seeks to at least collapse and take advantage of all that chaos, but he will not do it, so no bonus round conversion for EDG. PRX, they would have maintained this lead, keep it going.
And already better than their attack half against Fnatic.
Yep.
Although we were expecting that to occur. It would be ridiculous to have a moment like that repeated. But that showstopper finding massive amounts of value. It just helps you create so much space on the site. Now that's not going to be available, and Kang's picking up the operator. Sneak peek, he's over a B.
He's really going to be seeking to try and take a fight out here. He can hear all that pressure towards C. He's going to be calling that out for his team.
Cage trigger.
Nade sailing past. Trips also being contained.
The Guardian's like a poor man's Odin in this spot, perhaps.
Seeking to spam here, but a fight to be taken by Kang with the dash to get back. And well, he hits that, doesn't he? The harder shot to really make the most of. Forsaken was seeking to at least capitalize off of that when the aim was being adjusted. Satchel sets it up towards the side. Devi was jumping up out in the open. It's left up to 2 for PRX. EDG, great understanding of how they wanted to play this one. They barrel and swarm over that mound control, and at the back of the site, it's just up to Jing. How much can he really do? Yeah, he's popping off for his team. Granted one, not the second.
They're so mobile on the defense, aren't they? They move around like a pack. EDG have been going for gambles on one site or another, but if you do find the gap where Chishu was just holding the site with a Guardian, then everybody else comes swarming through. Kang in from B. And very quickly on the flank, everyone else. The difference in energy, palpable from the EDG side of the camp.
Do not want their tournament to end early. It's funny to say that as well with a team like EDG. All expectations against them at the beginning of Masters Tokyo, but now everybody's saying it, you know, the sky is the limit with this team. How far can they really take it? This time against PRX.
Look how deep that trip is from Chishu, purely to stop an A-lurk from coming through. So this looks like a major A retake kind of setup. Meanwhile, Kang just playing around mound, hyper confident that he's not going to get punished here.
Look at him. I mean, the risks that he's taking.
Did he get... I think he got past the cam.
Yeah, cam is really quite deep against the wall. Oh, here we go. So many angles to watch! I shouldn't be amazed at this point, but this man, he pulls off shots like that like they are nothing. It's insane.
It really is. It's absolutely ridiculous watching this guy play. Putting up numbers like the best op you've ever seen, pick anyone, and then find their best period of history. That's what Kangkang's currently doing. And it's not the easy shots. It's not the consistent ones. He's hitting some outrageous flicks.
What a nasty adjustment to take out Mindfreak, and now he's left again to hold back once more this onslaught. Onto the side, round to the side. Forsaken, for some reason, being the first one in. Seekers and Dizzy in his face will push him back, but nobody seeks to plug up the gaps. There's one kill, can't claim the second. Device, good movement. Spike denied. No plant in sight. Wingman taken out and removed, and Jing does eventually punish him. The operator taken down, but time is running so damn low here with only 11 seconds remaining. The spike, it has to be planted. Has to be an attempt to try and push them back and away. 7 seconds. Spike needs to be stuck. Good satchel. Does bail him and buy them a little bit of time and space, but Chichu is already quick on the trail. Hits the flick and the adjustment. Devi just can't land the spray transfer. Not enough to survive in the middle of all of that. So EDG, they bring it to the 8th round for them. 1 step away from equalizing.
Well played. The cleanup crew was there. Smoggy and Chishu doing the work, but this guy is just putting them in advantageous positions so often with the operator.
30 seconds left. Enemy remains.
It's unbelievable.
Who else is anywhere near him at the moment on the op? Like, the other people that are famous for their op kind of plays, we haven't even seen them use it that much in this tournament.
Genuinely,
Aspas bought an operator once. One round, Aspas opt. This guy's got it half the time.
I mean, the tension has turned up all the way.
They know they're not good at that side of the map, and that is a worm of doubt that can really cause carnage.
Economy's not too good here. Paranoia through the connector. Nice and early. He used to try and push back again this rubble control, but there's not too much else past it. PRX were able to disrespect a lot of control. They gain rubble. What's going to be the goal from this point on? Spam onto the orb angle. Seeker still ready, door rotating in his face. That's going to be the boom bot. Flash to the back, rocket in his hands, everything to try and delay this one. Smoggy, he's rocketed, he's stunned up. Satchel cannot escape his fate, he will fall. 4 versus 4, now we see it being slowed down.
This tree door is on permanent rotate.
Yeah, Satchel there to try and push back. Gun is claimed. Jing,
he couldn't get out.
Yeah, I don't know what occurred there. Maybe pushed back into position by the door, but he ends up falling.
He got stuck in the rotating door like a child at a hotel. Just going round and round.
But now PRX take the awkward timing. Looking their way back in here. It's Forsaken. He's found his timing. He's found his mark. Chichu falling over the top. It's up to Kangkang to respond and respond. He does mosh pit. Oh my goodness. Jumping to narrowly avoid the damage here.
30 seconds left.
Enough done though. It's up to these few. Wingman dropped down with a spike in his hand, doubled up. It's all up to Kangkang, yet still, again, cannot hit it with the spacing in mind. Oh my, narrowly avoiding another collateral, potentially one of many, but PRX, with that half by Josh, they keep their 2-round lead.
That's such an unusual round. Everybody's so grouped up in this tree area, and yet brute force
One enemy
powered through with Mindfreak just a tad away from his partner there. Perfect spacing to deal with the operator. Instantly on the angle. That keeps PRX's narrow lead.
They needed it, considering the amount of rounds they've been able to pick up on their attack side. Not like that to get it on the board. Here's some presence though. Kangkang with the operator. Down towards A. Heavy collection of players of EDG. Trailblazer gets some of that information towards it. Dizzy now to reclaim over towards C. Chichu with a camp setup. Common enough position. Here's a nade on the back. Camp not spotted. Man seeking to go for the plant while all this is happening. Chichu pushing forwards. Denies, and Kangkang out the one side. Dash to disengage. Only the 1 kill. 4 versus 4. Still a minute left in the round, whereas the spike dropped down to the floor. Devi is out of there.
Yeah, he's pieced it.
Now even with the Omen ult, seeking to reposition. They've taken the front section of A. Deep lurk by Forsaken as well, so it's that mad dash all the way over.
CGRS is getting exposed by this ultimate on the other side of the map.
Very good ultimate.
Does EDG go for a fast retake here? they don't really have great utility
30
for it.
seconds.
I mean, this feels so uncertain on either side. Like, tepid is the approach. They don't know if they've already rotated here, but there's 24 seconds left, and players have rotated. It's a collection of them, of EDG, now seeking to retake from the backside of the site. Seeker's online, though, with that plant. That's going to give a bit of space, information as well. Kang fires off the shot, and Halong was just out of position. The random spray of bullets brings Kang down to just 22 health. He has smokes to try and reposition, doesn't take it. He misses the shot, and Defy with the transfer. Jichu aiming to make the most, but he's brought down on top of it. It's 11-8, PRX. They seem to have got momentum back behind them.
They've broken that pattern that we saw in this half, and they've found ways of being able to pivot away. The C hit did not look like it was going to work. So a very heads-up decision from Defy and Mindfree to pivot that one out and go and join Forsaken. Incredible fragging in this round from Defy.
That almost set him up for the third, man. I mean,
Yeah, that one almost gifted to him, but
can win.
Here. Here.
But PRX fighting for survival. Any sort of lifeline that they can buy for something to get back in, to get the full roster strength online. Heading deeper and deeper into Masters Tokyo. Every single match matters.
and EDG are forced to save.
It's a brutal one.
What a difficult decision to make, knowing that PRX are going to be allowed to get up to 12 here in all likelihood.
It comes down to this, a player stack. Up to tree, door rotates, Kang, he's got the dash active, wants to try and take the fight to them, but they've all fallen. On either side of the door, the sightlines were set up. PRX now seeking to lay claim to the site. Have been met with a decent stack of players, yet still the shots are landing. Any attempt to make something of the chaos is just met with players falling. No damage done to the economy. PRX. They hit that 12 round mark, Josh. You know what that means. It's match point, series point in our elimination game here of Masters Tokyo.
Of course, no weaponry available, but now EDG need to win 4 in a row in order to get to overtime and save themselves from these constant map 3 issues that they've been having. Backs against the wall, do they have it in them? It feels like when the pressure's on, this is sometimes where EDG play their best, and a lot of it comes down to this man.
All eyes on Kang already. Double satchel in his face! Jing removes him. What do you do when a star player is shut down in that kind of fashion?
And you see the reaction from him there on the player cam. The sudden gutting feeling that he's let it all slip away. Forced to just sit in silence as PRX also cut the noise.
Baiting it out, some sort of response from EDG. That being Titans.
Satchel out. Jets grounded.
Space gain towards A here. Still with the passive cam set up a trip as well, but it's a fast flank from EDG around the side. It's 3 players. Be rapid on the approach. The site's going to be given up. Chichu has to make something of this. Does he choose to take a timing?
How could he? With the thrash in his face, almost impossible.
Doesn't want to swing into this, but this fight at Rubble, it's so damn important. Flash exchange still close to the angle, close to the corner. Forsaken is there. They lay it down and strike back with Smokey there still. Chichu, last one left. He forces it to the 1v1. This is for the map and the series to stay in it. The Pride of Pacific. It's CJRS, the sub player. A battle for survival. Chichu getting info, spotting out where he is, but he does not know where CJRS is. And it's just mere moments away. The aim cannot be adjusted. PRX survive.